Who's next on the schedule? Scotus, the final game to wrap up the regular season. A game I'm assuming you guys always have circled coming into fall. So what's practice been like? Let's just get right into it. It's the rivalry, the significance of it, and what you're expecting Friday night as you prepare for this big game tomorrow.
Well, we're expecting a big physical football game, and that's that way every year, and that dates back. I've been a part of this game now for 15 years, and every year it's the same story. Basically both teams are going to come in. They want to have bragging rights for a year, and your upperclassmen want to leave on a high note with this game. And only one time in that 15 years we end up playing each other twice, and that was in 2013. We played them last game of the regular season, then turned around and played them again that next week. And so outside of that, it's outside of that year, it's a one-shot deal per year, and you get one chance to come out and play your best football against them, and you want to make sure you do that. It's your rival. It's a thing where you're going to see those kids, those coaches, those parents, and those players around town, and you want to make sure that when you go around, you can hold your head up high and make sure that you put your best effort on the field. And when you do that, usually good things happen in this game. And I know our kids are up for it, and I know their kids are going to be up for it as well.
And not that you need any more reason to get up for this game. It's a rivalry, but you have the playoff implications. You need to win and some other dominoes to fall your way to keep your playoff hopes alive. And not only that, but you also have the chance to spoil their district championship hopes if they win the game against you. You can cancel that out. Are you playing that up as well, or are you just saying, hey, let's worry about what's in front of us, which is we need to win for our own sake?
Well, we have so many things that we got to worry about as far as assignments on defense, so many things that we got to worry about assignments on offense and special teams. So to be honest with you, our kids know. We talked about it on Monday as far as the playoff implications. We told them basically, I can't guarantee we're going to get in with a win, but I can guarantee we're going to be out if we lose. And that's about it as far as we've kind of, talked about it. And so playoff-wise, and the district championship, obviously, for them is on the line. They're going to have to get a win against us to get that championship. And then with that being said, we can get in there and get a victory. Their chances are gone. And so, those are things our kids are aware of, but we haven't spent a lot of time talking about it. They have enough threats on offense, enough big players, big plays on defense that they can make that we need to worry about taking care of those things, the X and O part of it. Our kids are going to be jacked up for it anyway. They're going to be hyped up. So that's not necessarily a concern. The concern isn't making sure we come out and we're focused on what we need to get done. And I think if we can do that, we're going to be in good shape in the fourth quarter.
And speaking of the Shamrocks and the crosstown rival, they're fast, they're athletic, they like to blitz on defense. Anything else you see just scouting or wise? How do you view the Shamrocks, and what do you need to do to come out with a win?
Well, they play with very good effort. I think that's one of the things that stand out on film. And Scotus has played a very good schedule this year. We feel like we played a very good schedule this year. One of the things about it is when you played tough schedules like we have and like they have, you're prepared for games like this. I know they're prepared, and I feel like we're prepared as well. The thing about it is their effort level on film stands out, but we've seen that across the board as well in those top teams that we played. Our 4 losses have came against those top-ranked teams in the state, along with where they're at as well in the rankings. So we just need to make sure that we bring our best effort to that game, and I think if we can focus on that and along with our assignments and those type of deals, again, we're going to be in good shape.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for stopping in. We're going to be calling this game on ColumbusNewsTeam.com, so just for my sake, I can't wait for Friday night. Hoping for a very good game. Well,
this game has provided a lot of great memories over the years, and, I think back in all the games that we've been a part of, and, we've been fortunate over the last how many years to come on the right side of this thing. But leading up to the last 10 years or so, they kind of had our number and were kind of doing things in a way that was keeping us on the wrong side of it. But again, whether we walked away on the right side or the wrong side of this game, the one thing you can always say is the kids play extremely hard, play with great effort and heart. And if you're somebody out there, if you're not going to be at the game, you need to watch the game on Columbus News Team because it's one you don't want to miss.
Well, thank you as always, Coach Kurt Frenzen. Lakeview Vikings taking on the Columbus Scotus Shamrocks crosstown rivalry. Be sure to tune in to columbusnewsteam.com if you're not there to watch it. We'll be live streaming it for you as well. Well, stay with us here on Coach's Corner because we're going to be hearing from the other side and head coach Tyler Linder with the Shamrocks right after this. And a great chance for you guys basically to get back to sharpness, I guess, if you'd say, because you have Lakeview. I mean, no secret here, a game you always have circled on the schedule. It's the last game of the season, of the regular season, and they have some things to play for. They're 4-4. They have to beat you guys for a chance to make the playoffs if other things fall their way, and I mean, that's just added on top of you shouldn't have anything else that needs to get you up for a game against Scotus from their perspective. So, I mean, everything else aside, it's Lakeview week. What's it been like in practice as you get ready for this final regular season game?
Yeah, we talked to our kids early on in the week, and we said that there will be a lot of buzz around not just your football team, but the city with this game. But there's also a lot of other things that hang in the balance, right? There's playoff seeding, there's a playoff berth possible for Lakeview, and so people will already be talking about, hey, who are you going to play first round? And I kind of made a joke to even some of the guys on my staff who were talking like, well, we could play this team or we could play that team. And I said, well, what happens if we lose on Friday night? And they were like, well, but we can't look ahead. We've got to prepare for a very well coached Lakeview team. Coach Frenzen is going to have those boys ready to go, and they've gotten better each and every week. It's actually pretty impressive. We've got some tape of their earlier games, and they made some mistakes late in ball games, but they've played really clean football the last couple of weeks and played really close with some very good competition. So I'm really excited for the opportunity. This is a rivalry, so it kind of you can throw records out the window. It's going to be kind of a no holds barred winner take all type of deal. So Lakeview is going to come, and we've got to bring our A game if we're going to hope to pull out a victory against Lakeview.
And you're head coaching now for your second year. You've been on this coaching staff for 5, so you're getting used to what this rivalry is all about. What does it mean to you? And as the players, you have that crosstown rival, and it's a smaller town, but you still have two schools that are rivals, and they play each other year in, year out.
Rivalries are great, but the thing that I enjoy most about it is that it exists. I come from a town where we didn't have a crosstown rival or even like a cross-county rival. We didn't have a lot of tradition in big games like that. And so, when I first got here, that was really impressive to me that an entire town rallies around two teams, on one night. And so there is a lot of bragging rights at stake. There is a lot of emotion tied up in it, and that's what football is. Football is a game that teaches you a lot about life, but it's an emotional battle. And so that's what it will be on Friday night. And I'm hoping that our kids appreciate it. I'm sure they do. But they'll look back on this game and they'll remember all of those emotional feelings. So really, I use the word excited a ton, but that's honestly how I feel. I love playing, especially under our, under the lights at our field. So it's a home game for us. You're playing your rival. There's really not much better.
Well, if you're not excited as the head coach or a player, I mean, you need to check your pulse, as they say, so that's a good thing, I would assume. Looking forward, just the Vikings, who they are, what kind of players they have, but what's sort of the scouting report? How are you preparing for them, and what do you see from them?
I think they've got a lot of talent. They're big up front, they're aggressive up front, and they've got skill guys that can do good things with the football. So they're going to try to keep us a little bit soft with some of their passing routes. They're going to try to probably stress a vertical passing game and then run option underneath. And I take great pride as a defensive coordinator in trying to stop the option. That's what we've focused on this week is knowing our responsibilities and doing your job on any given play. And so we've got a few wrinkles to throw at Lakeview that I'm excited to kind of unveil on Friday night. And so we just have to match up with our athletes and go out there and just play football. I think that's, you can read a lot of things in the paper, you can watch this, but when it comes down to it, it's one team versus the other team on a Friday night, and the best team's going to come out on top.
All right, just wrapping this thing up, definitely a secondary side note to this game, but something kind of cool that's happening at halftime. Scotus is being presented a golden football from the NFL because they have a player that was on a Super Bowl roster.
Yeah, Joe Blaha is is a Scotus alum who played in the Super Bowl, and it's the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl, and so the NFL is doing kind of a great thing. If you have ever played in a Super Bowl, they're presenting your high school team with kind of a commemorative trophy in a way. And so Joe will be in attendance on Friday night, and I'm really looking forward to talking with him before the game, and I'm really proud not only of Joe and his accomplishments, but just of the Scotus community. It's a great thing, and it's going to go right in one of our main trophy cases in the building, and so it'll be something that all of our kids can look to, and not only to that trophy, but also they can look on all of our record boards and they can still see that guy's name. Those records still stand, and it's because they're really good records. He was a phenomenal athlete and a wonderful man, and so I'm really excited for Joe and for the Scotus community on Friday night.
All right, Coach. Well, us at the Columbus News Team also excited. We'll be broadcasting this one. If you're not at the game, people can watch it online, and it should be a great one to end out the regular season. So, as always, hoping for a good one.
Yeah, me too.
Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Coach's Corner here on ColumbusNewsTeam.com. He's Coach Tyler Linder. The Shamrocks and the Lakeview Vikings clash on Friday night. You can watch it on ColumbusNewsTeam.com. I'm Brandon Axford, and that wraps up this week's show. Stadium in Columbus, Nebraska, Class C1 football rivalry action on ColumbusNewsTeam.com. Thank you so much for joining us here. I am Brandon Axman with the call. The man next to me, as always, Grant Otten and Taryn Campbell will be patrolling the sidelines. Grant, we have a great one. Crosstown rivalry between Scotus and Lakeview. The Shamrocks have the postseason wrapped up, but need to win to get a district title. As for the Lakeview Vikings, they need a win to have any chance of going to the postseason.
Well, this is a matchup we've been looking forward to all year long. Lakeview's done better this year than I think they even could hope for. The record might not show it, but I think it's going to be a great game.
Key players to look out for: Dylan Johnson, the quarterback for the Lakeview Vikings. He's thrown for 950 yards, ran for 700. He is going to have to completely lead his team if they want to have a chance to beat this very strong Scotus team as the senior in potentially his final game of the season. As for the Scotus Shamrocks, Bailey Pelster, he is nearing 1,000 yards. He has 870. He's averaging over 10 yards per carry. The Viking defense are going to have to keep their eyes on him if they want to come out victorious. That wraps up key players for the game. We're now going to hear in with Taryn Campbell, who is with Tyler Linder of the Scotus Shamrocks.
Thanks, guys. Coach, it's rivalry week. Tell me, what did you do to keep your players focused?
There's not a lot that we have to do in our practices to keep these kids motivated to play a crosstown rival. And so our focus has been great. And so we're really excited to get this game underway.
All right, and what are the keys to victory for your team tonight?
I think, just stopping what they do best, which is their option game. So we've got to come up and play disciplined defense, and we have to pound the rock on offense. So we've got to establish our run game and make sure that we stick to our game plan.
Thank you. We'll be back right after this.
Marcus Dotson and Bailey Pelster. First and 10 Vikings from their own 27. Ball carried by the quarterback, Dylan Johnson. The tackle led by number 32, Marcus
Glad you're with
Dotson
us here on
Shamrocks.
ColumbusNewsTeam.com. Beautiful weather here on this Friday night. We are 30 seconds into this contest here as the Vikings start things off. They have a 2nd and 9 from their 28. Handoff goes to Trent Roth, met by Evan Shohan. Not a lot there.
Ball carried
3rd
by
and
Trent
long
Roth.
upcoming for the Vikings.
Tackle led by number 38, Jake Boss for the Shamrocks. Gain of 1 on the play will bring up a 3rd and 8 for Lakeview.
3rd and 8 officially for the Vikings. They would love nothing more than to not get a 3 and out, Grant. You want to really gain momentum and start things off. You don't want to give the Shamrocks any sort of something to build on. And you see right here, just over a minute left in this first opening drive as the Vikings have their first test of the evening.
Well, like we talked about, Lakeview is going to really need to come out and enforce their will early on in this game if they're going to be successful.
There's a flag before the snap. We'll see if it was a false start, and looks like it is.
Flag on the play.
5
Delay of
yards.
game by the Vikings. The 5-yard penalty will move the ball back to the 24-yard. Bring up a 3rd and 13.
So 3rd and 13 after that false start penalty. Shamrocks show blitz. Johnson on the quick pass, hits his receiver, but not going to be enough for a first down. And a punting situation, Grant, for the Vikings.
After the Vikings, you really want to come out and try
The pass from Dylan Johnson is complete to number 23, Nicholas
we've seen
Dolzal.
all year is extremely stingy and very good at what they do. So the Vikings will have another chance, but they're going to need to come out with a little fire now on defense if they're going to get a stop here against these Shamrocks, because Shamrocks also very punishing on offense.
So a short punt by the Vikings, fielded near the 45 by Cole Harrington. He goes out for a short gain, if any, near the 50, but a short field for the Shamrocks as they have their first offensive drive of the night.
To the Scotus
Very manageable field after that.
First and 10, Shamrocks from their own 47.
So as we've seen before, this little 2-back formation.
And off to Bailey Pelster right there, and you see why he averages over 10 yards a carry. He gets right about 10 there on something, Grant, that looked like wasn't much available.
Well, it's really a shiftiness that gets you. He does have some nice breakout speed, but you can see there in the little handoff up the middle, he's able to go sideways and then really just kind of project forward with his quickness to get those 10 yards.
And we're going to take a look right now at the Scotus starters on the offensive end here on ColumbusNewsTeam.com.
Carson Fusher, number 71, offensive line.
Number 78, Wyatt Gessner, O-line.
Sam Novicki, number 54, offensive line.
Kale Bostic, 61, O-line.
Ross Bonk, number 70, O-line. Jackson Kump, number 39, tight end. Dalton Taylor, number 12, receiver. John Mobile, 23, receiver. Jake Boss, number 38, fullback. Cole Harrington, number 9, running back. Brady Christmas, number 15, quarterback.
And that will be the first time you'll see those amazing graphics. We have to give our producer, director Aaron Trout, some credit on that one. That is the Scotus offensive starters. We'll show you the Lakeview defense right after that. A Cole Harrington carry on that last play gives the Shamrocks a fresh set of downs. And here is Harrington again as he gets around the outside, brought down by Jordan Jansen for that defense. Let's see who those starters are for the Lakeview Vikings.
Man, he did a nice job.
Austin Folds, 88, defensive end.
Zach Kobza, number 59, D-line. Number 50, Noah Duncan, defensive tackle.
Connor Werdeman, 71, defensive end.
Trey Shanks, 20, outside linebacker.
Grant Zimba, number 65, middle linebacker.
Jordan Jansen, number 45, middle linebacker.
Sean Donnelly, number 86, outside linebacker.
Dakota Parak, number 9, corner.
Trent Roth, 25, strong safety.
And there's Bailey Pelster again running at that Viking defense that, short of answers right now, at least early on, that's going to be close to another first down.
Marcus Dotson.
You know, and they are taking some decent amount of time off this clock as far as this drive's going, so that Lakeview defense is being decently stingy, 3rd and short here, but definitely a manageable yardage for these Scotus Shamrocks, as we've seen them buzz for even longer on a couple of these plays already.
Ball on the 32, 7.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Prismus under center. And there's the handoff to Bailey Pelster. He's trying to get around the outside, Grant. There's some room to run, enough for a first down. Again, I believe that was Jansen with the tackle, but not before the damage was done.
I think you did a nice job picking your key player of the game, or at least I think he heard you.
You know, I like to think that I sometimes know what I'm talking about when it comes to these things.
It's good to sometimes know.
You know,
at least for
yeah.
Sometimes know.
But, I mean, you see it right there. Pelster, he's a wing back, so not even a running back, and he really makes the most of his carries, and it's something that's very impressive that he is nearing that 1,000-yard mark.
He's just he's such a versatile back to have in your backfield amongst all these other great backs Scotus has. Pelster there with another carry upfield.
Tackle made by number 50.
Gonna go for about
Austin Foltz for
3 yards, it looks like.
2 on the play will bring up a 2nd and 8 for the Shamrocks.
So the Viking defense trying to hold strong here. They run that 4-4 front, and now again Prismus under center. Boss the lone back, but Prismus going to go to the air for the first time. Hits his big receiver, and Dalton Taylor inside the 10-yard line. A fresh set of downs.
What a great catch by Taylor there over the middle, taking the hit and bringing that one down. A nice pass as well by Prismus to find his man in a just about just the right spot downfield as he was covered up.
7-yard line.
So first and goal to go from the 7. Marcus Dodson gets the carry. The backup fullback pounds in within the 5-yard line. Looks like he'll be brought down near the 3.
Just a few more yards to go before they can get into the end zone here. Scotus looking to score on their first drive of the game right now. So far, just running headstrong, head forward, and we knew that's what they were going to do going in.
There's Jake Boss pounding forward for those 3 tough yards. He gets his 6th touchdown of the season as the Shamrocks strike first here in the first quarter.
And to attempt the extra point is Cole Harrington. Holding will be Anthony Cook.
So 6-0. Shamrocks looking to make it 7 with the Cole Harrington extra point. No good. So 6-0 still is the score as the Vikings about to get their second crack at things.
Not usual case for Cole Harrington. Is usually pretty accurate. And we'll see if that missed field goal comes back to make something interesting for this game. See if he makes things interesting as this game pans out. Lakeview, though, is going to need to come out and, kind of do something, at least move the ball downfield, show they have the ability to move against the Shamrock or defense,
Just speaking more about this rivalry, Vikings lead this 9-4 since 2003. They've, for the most part, had more success against the Shamrocks. They'd won 4 in a row between 2011 and 2013, that one season where where they played each other twice to end the regular season. Then they turned right around the next week and played each other in the first round of the playoffs. The Vikings won 17-16 on a last-second field goal in that regular season game, then sort of blew out the Shamrocks 35-14 in the playoffs. But Grant, the Shamrocks got their revenge last year, 42-13. And right now they appear to have the stronger team, and they're hoping to build on that and get a little winning streak of their own going in this series.
Yeah, it will be interesting, not only this game, but to see how this rivalry does pan out. They're going to call a touchback there as Lindbergh catches that one in the back of front of the end zone. But it will be interesting to see this rivalry kind of develop over the future years here as well. So we'll see how this kind of pans out.
So there is a handoff right up the middle for the Vikings. Not a lot there again. There's a gain of 2 on that one, Trey Shanks.
Yeah, nice little dive there up the middle. Trey definitely a feature back in this game for Lakeview. Jansen, a guy I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe get to see him a few plays this game as well after the performance he had last week.
Yeah, Shanks went down shortly in that game against David City, and Jansen came in and had a great performance, rattled off a 50-yard touchdown run, and there's Dylan Johnson again with a short gain, if any, and that's going to be problematic, Grant. Talking to Kurt Frenzen prior, he says we have to run the ball, and we have to run it successfully on the ground, and that's the only way we're going to have success, and right now they're struggling against this very solid defense.
Yeah, we're very early in the game here, but, Lakeview, as well as us and Scotus, know that they're very good at defending that run. You saw Jake Boss get that tackle there last time. But they love to run those. They like to run a little option, almost intercepted there by Evan Shohan. But they like to run the read option. They like to do a lot of that. And if they're not able to open up their run game, it's going to be a long, quick night for Lakeview.
And again, a second 3 and out for the Vikings. Again, talking more about Kurt Frenzen, saying what they need to do offensively. Also on the defensive end, he says we cannot give up the big plays. Last year, that's something they had a very big problem with against the Shamrocks. First or second play of the game, actually, Grant Lom took a pass all the way for the touchdown from 40-plus yards out, and they haven't given that up yet. Although maybe I spoke too soon. Cole Harrington trying to get some room to run on the outside. Good job by the Viking special teams to corral him. But the Vikings do. They're searching for something on the offensive end right now.
And Connor Werdeman there on that tackle. Nice job to get in there and wrap that one up. Scotus once again in a very good position to move downfield.
So again, Grant, when you're playing a good team like this, it's not easy when you give them this early field position and short yard field position, as Prismus takes the keeper himself for 5 yards.
Prismus is a guy who is not really he's not a running quarterback by any means, but someone had a couple touchdowns running wise in the past few games, and as you can see it there, making a nice little move to get downfield on the read option.
I asked Coach Linder, about this rivalry. This is your second time at the helm now, your second year for the Shamrocks as head coach, and he says something that's really strikes him about being unique of this rivalry is it's a smaller town, Columbus, a town of 20,000, but you still have two schools that play each other year in and year out. There's Jake Boss with a short carry, but he said, even David City, which is a neighbor, they have Aquinas Catholic as well as David City Public, but they don't play each other. And so the fact that you have teams in the same class that the whole town rallies around really is something unique and special to Columbus.
Yeah, it's really cool. And growing up here in Columbus, I went to Columbus High, but I always knew they played each other. Got to play Lakeview one year, my senior year as well. But seeing these two teams, when you really think about it, the fact that they get to play each other year in and year out is a really cool thing. And it's interesting, Scotus is just the powerhouse this last year, and they had a very successful this year as well, but it seems to go back and forth, and more often than not, it's a really good game.
Pelster was given the carry, but whistle before the play. And we'll see what the officials have to say.
So encroachment there on the defense. On a third down situation where Lakeview really didn't need to give up any extra yards. It looked like Bailey Pelster probably would have been getting close, if not the first down anyways.
And yeah, with that, Grant, it gives the Shamrocks a fresh set of downs. And again, when you're playing a very good team, something the Vikings can't afford to do, they need to be playing pretty spotless and flawless, I guess you would say, to give themselves a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you talked about already, when you talked to Coach Frenzen before the game, said they can't give up that big play, and they absolutely cannot. They need to get a defensive stop here soon. And not too bad, a nice little run. Ended up getting about 4 or 5 yards there. Jake Boss up the middle. On the tackle was 59, Zach Kobza.
Shamrocks doing exactly what they wanted. When talking to Coach Tyler Linder, he said, we want to establish the run. I mean, that's no secret. The Shamrocks like to run. They have 4 or 5 guys that could go off for 100 yards at any point in a game. And so far, they're just marching right along methodically down the field against this Viking defense.
Yeah, that's one of the things that seems to be pretty consistent with most of the good teams around. Well, at least here in the state of Nebraska, they got a strong stable of backs, at least 2 or 3. Well, Scotus has 4 guys that I would put money on could start at almost probably any program here in the state and be effective as they are at this level.
And there you saw Jake Boss getting 4 more hard yards just right up the middle. There's the coaching staff and head coach Frenzen for the Vikings in his 15th year. a little bit more seasoned than Coach Tyler Linder, who's taken the reins of this very good Shamrocks team. And so 3rd and 1 from the 24. That's Marcus Dodson in the backfield. They give him the ball right up the middle, and he pounds forward for a first down and then some. They mark him down at the 19.
And Dotson and Boss are two guys that, if you're not looking at the numbers, you would probably get pretty confused or pretty easily confused about which one's actually in the game because they switch out so flawlessly, and both of them are very good runners. Let's talk about Kurt Frenzen, been here for a long time, 15 years. Just one of those coaches that really gets everything out of his players. Linder, we don't really know how he's going to be as a coach. Obviously started off very well, but also a great guy to talk to, too.
And there's a big defensive play by Alec Foltz, the first sack of the night. And Grant, we called this game against David City, or Austin Foltz, last week, and he had 2 sacks almost exactly like that. And he's going to have a big game on the defensive end, and he's starting well right now.
Yeah, Austin Foltz is absolutely an exciting player for this Lakeview team, not only offensively, but more so defensively. And coming off the edge as a defensive end, he's a scary guy to have. You can see him push down the defensive lineman who's kind of crash blocking, and he just gets in the backfield. And once he gets going, he's a hard guy to stop.
And now the Vikings are in a good situation, 2nd and 21. They have to build off of this. There's a flag thrown. And again, Viking defense pressure, and Prismus just throws it out of bounds. We will see what the call is here. Laundry on the field.
They're going to call this one against Scotus. That was Trey Shanks and Grant Zimba, who were in the backfield there on the contact.
So a very big situation now. It looks like the Vikings are going to decline this one because of the incompletion, which will bring up still 3rd and 21, something that isn't the Shamrock strong suit, passing on a 3rd and long situation.
Yeah, we've seen them do it a few times this year on the games that we've had the opportunity to cover, and they have connected like you saw earlier with Taylor downfield, but there's also been quite a few scenarios where the pass hasn't panned out for them. Definitely more comfortable with the run.
Well, here's the play action with Prismus. It's a shovel pass to Harrington. He has some room to run. Credit to the Vikings for stopping Harrington in the open field. He is very quick and athletic. Looks like a gain of about 7, but Grant, at this point, is it 4-down territory here, or do you try to go for the long field goal?
Now, I think they kick out the field goal. You got Jake Boss, who usually does the longer kicking duties for Scotus, has a heck of a leg on him. First credit Noah Duncan and Austin Foltz getting in on the tackle there on Cole Harrington, who is an extremely shifty guy and a dangerous guy when he gets into open field. But, I think we've seen Jake Boss kick some pretty long field goals, so I think, depending how his leg's feeling, you can give him a shot. They got a chance.
Well, we'll find out what happens next. That is the first quarter of play already in the book. Shamrocks leading 6-0 over the Vikings.
Hi, I'm Dee Hansen. I'm the marketing director, and we would like to introduce you to Bank of the Valley.
Community-minded, family-centered, measurable relationships. When it comes to your business, agriculture, and personal banking needs, trust Bank of the Valley.
We really focus on the people that we serve. Relationships are the most important thing to us, and because we're smaller, we're flexible enough and we can make those quick decisions to meet your needs.
Bank of the Valley in Bellwood, David City, Platte Center, and their brand new location in Columbus. At Columbus Motor Company, they feel shopping for a new vehicle should not be complicated. That's why during the Chrysler Anniversary Celebration, they offer everyone their very best price 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. At Columbus Motor Company, it's just one low price. Plain and simple, always. So if you're ready for a new vehicle, stop by Columbus Motor Company, your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer at 2806 23rd Street in Columbus.
All right, 41-yard field goal attempt by the Shamrocks. Nowhere near. Jake Boss got under that one. And it didn't even get to the end zone, down by the Shamrocks near the 2, which they're going to bring it all the way back. So a very good result for Lakeview, and it was all because of that big Foltz sack.
Yeah, he really chipped that one up in the air pretty high. I think he would have got a full leg on that. That would have been good, but it looked like he might have been trying to kick that one even harder than he needed to, trying to make up for some of that length.
And actually, I spoke too soon, I guess, because it didn't get to the end zone, and the Shamrocks recovered the field goal in the 5-yard line. That's where they're going to mark the ball. At least, I mean, that looks like what they're deciding right now. Very interesting scenario.
Yeah, this is a new situation. I don't think I've, even in my years of playing, I've ever come across this. So they are going to take it. It looks like they're taking a Lakeview timeout.
And you see their friends and kind of saying, hey, what's going on here? I've never seen this, Grant. I mean, I guess I don't know.
No, I think the few times that I've seen the football kicked, shorter than the end zone, and a player on the opposing team has returned it. Granted, that's usually off like a 60-yard field goal at the NFL or college level, where they're expecting expecting the kick to be shorter. I've never seen this at the high school level, so this is a different situation. Let's see what the. It looks like they're just going to leave the ball there.
The only thing I can think, unless we didn't see and a Vikings player touch that ball before a Shamrock player did and tried to return, I mean, I'm a little bit lost for describing what's going on right now, to be totally honest.
I guess I'm going to have to brush up on that section of the playbook. It's not something I tend to look into too often, but either way, a heads-up play by that the kicking squad for Scotus to down that one on the 4-yard line.
I guess now I don't know if this was maybe something intentionally done when why Boss chipped it up so high. I don't know. Regardless, we're back to normal football action, and Vikings still struggling for anything on the ground.
Yeah, Dylan Johnson going there, and now we're going to take a look at the Lakeview starters here at Columbus News Team.
Cole Tessendorf, number 70, offensive line.
Trevor Schultz, 51, left tackle. Derek Smith, 56, center.
Connor Werdeman, 71, offensive tackle.
Caleb Franzen, number 63, O-line. Austin Foltz, 88, tight end. Nick Bilzall, 23, wide receiver.
Jack Reeg, number 10, wide receiver.
Trey Shanks, 20, fullback.
Chase Lundberg, number 19, running back.
Trent Roth, 25, running back. Dylan Johnson, number 7, quarterback.
And a second timeout taken by the Vikings there. Some confusion, I guess, going on as to this whole scenario, but we'll see what Vikings decide to look up. But yeah, why we have this timeout. Let's take a look at that Scotus defense, which is so far pitched a shutout.
Dylan Johnson, number
There's Dylan Johnson
7,
again.
punter.
Darren Wrinkle, number 72, defensive line.
Mitchell Halligan, number 59, defensive line.
Matt Strucker, number 45, outside linebacker.
Jake Boss, number 38, middle linebacker. Evan Shohan, number 34, inside linebacker. Marcus Dodson, number 32, linebacker. Jackson Kump, number 39, outside linebacker. Cole Harrington, number 9, defensive back. John Lovell, 23, defensive back. Dalton Taylor, number 12, corner.
Anthony Kush, number 7, safety.
Nick Bilzall, 23.
And so 2nd and 9 after that second timeout by the Vikings. We got all the starters to you, and Dylan Johnson has some pressure in the end zone. Jake Boss, are they going to give him the safety? It is 2 points for the Shamrocks. Huge defensive play.
And absolutely, Dylan Johnson needed to let that one go, trying to find a man downfield. Couldn't get a hold of him before Jake Boss got his hands on him and brought him down. A big safety for Scotus. Jake Boss, unable to get that field goal earlier, comes back with 2 points to make up for that 3 he couldn't get, and just a great heads-up play. Just lowering the shoulder pads and attacking the quarterback. That's what you want out of your linebackers.
An unfortunate situation for the Vikings. Yeah, you're in a scenario where that whole mix-up with the field goal, then you use 2 timeouts, and then you end up giving up a safety on the play and 2 points, and now you're kicking to the Shamrocks.
Yeah, Lakeview's going to have to come back out and have a big defensive stop. Now Scotus is going to have to do a little work here, a little more work than they've had to offensively. They got a little more ground that they need to make up compared to what they've worked off those first couple of drives. But Lakeview needs to come out. Austin Foltz needs to continue to be a force in that backfield like he was on that last drive.
And we talked about it pregame a little bit and just the situation the Vikings are in. currently, as far as wild card points sit, and the playoff brackets will be made by Saturday morning, Shamrocks are number 1 in power points, ahead of Norfolk Catholic and Wilbur-Laconia, both two teams who are undefeated just because of the sheer strength of schedule Columbus Scotus has played. You look down, though, at number 22, and that's where Lakeview currently finds themselves. And the way Class C1 playoffs work is you have the top 8 district winners that get a spot, and then the top 8 players or teams after those district winners with the highest wild card points. So when we say the Lakeview Vikings have to win, but also need to have some other dominoes follow their way to get into that top 16 tier, as after the safety kickoff, the Shamrocks do have another short field with the return near the 49-yard line.
In rivalry games, always for pride, but this one absolutely for playoff hopes for Lakeview too. So down only 8 points right now. They're going to need to get a stop here, though, and start making some things happen on offense.
Here comes the reverse to Cole Harrington, trying to get around the outside, has room to run. Tackled out of bounds near the 27, and that's a gain of 11 and a Scotus first down.
Cole Harrington, a guy we've seen do a lot of good things so far throughout this season. Like we said, we've talked about Bailey Pelster, we've talked about Voss, we've talked about Dotson, and now Harrington. Just a complete set of backs there in the backfield that really just make things a lot easier for Linder as a young coach. Or at least some players you got to be excited about.
So no set of downs, 1st and 10 from the 29 of the Vikings again. Prismus under center as Pelster goes in motion. There's the quick bubble screen to Harrington again. Harrington finding some more room as he nears another first down, gain of 8.
Yeah, nice job getting there to the outside. Good setup blocks there on that bubble screen, giving him a chance to get toward the sideline and get a nice little gain of about 7 yards maybe. You know, another Lakeview Scotus news, state cross country was earlier today. Nathan Oshtek from Columbus Scotus taking home 2nd place. Individually, they did pretty good. Scotus got 4th as a team, and Lakeview got 5th as a team.
Congratulations to them. The Shamrocks just really having a lot of success athletically these recent years. There's a short carry up the middle, which will be close to a first down. That was Jake Voss. Looks like they're going to mark him just short. So 3rd and a couple feet.
Let's say this falls under the manageable section for Columbus's run game, or Scotus's run game. I guess I can't say Columbus.
Well, Voss is next to Prismus, but instead they give it to Pelster, who almost gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage, making multiple defenders miss, and is still going, gets down near the 10-yard line. And again, Grant, I've said it before, but you see why he is nearing that 1,000-yard mark.
That's an extremely shifty back. An extremely shifty back and almost getting tackled there in the backfield, very close, but just got around that edge quick enough to avoid getting tackled there. And you can see Nick Dolezal just not quite close enough to that jersey to get a hold of that thing and bring him down, but a nice job by Pelster.
So Shamrocks on the 12, they go right up the middle to Voss. Voss still going, and Voss fights for 5 extra yards, gets down at the 3-yard line.
And just a hard-nosed guy. You saw him get the big sack for the safety earlier, and you can see him just lowering that head, lowering those shoulder pads, and just rolling around defenders getting upfield.
Voss coming into this game over 400 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. He already grabbed one earlier this evening and may very well get another. 2nd and 2 from the 4. And there is Voss, and They give him another touchdown. He makes the trip to the end zone for the second time tonight. The Shamrocks now up 14-0.
And just a shout out again to our director and graphics maniac, Aaron Trout, who is down behind the scenes, but just does a fabulous job behind those scenes, getting these things put together. Thank you to the camera guys, too. Out here in this cold night, and the fans out here enjoying this Scotus rivalry on a very chilly night. Fall's definitely kicking in. Jake Boss there on that nice little dive up the middle. You know, they do that little read option where they fake that Pelster on the backside. Sometimes they'll hand off to him when we see that's when he gets those 10, 15-yard carries. But then a dangerous thing is you got Boss or Dotson, one of the two, either lined up in a kind of fullback position essentially, and then, you know, if you're watching Pelster, then they're going to get you with Boss. If you're watching Boss, they're going to get you with Pelster. But sometimes Prismus too. He's got one carry this game, so just such a deadly run game.
So there was the missed extra point. So the positive thing for the Vikings, while it seems like you're being entirely outplayed, which to this point they kind of are, it's still only a 2-possession game, even with the 2 touchdowns and that safety. Still just 14-0.
Yeah, still in this game, absolutely. And before we go any further, we gotta.
It's that time, Grant. It's time to let people know about the best burgers in Columbus at Bo's West, our first quarter sponsor. Go to their place, grab a burger, and just enjoy yourself because they're the best. You should treat yourself on a Friday night.
Treat yourself. Just delicious burgers, man. There's not much else to say about that. Delicious burgers, great atmosphere. Get out, check them out, Bo's West.
And the Vikings trying to get something going on the special teams end. They're going to have their best field position of the evening after that return by Chase Lemberg getting near the 40.
Yeah, Lemberg guy we haven't seen a lot out of offensively so far. It's mostly been Dylan Johnson and Trey Shanks who have kind of carried the brunt of the carries, but they haven't had a ton of chances to move forward because they haven't been able to get first downs. So in this good field position, they're going to need to take advantage of this and try and move forward. Get at least 3 points on the board would be very big right now.
So there's Dylan Johnson on the option. He finds Trey Shanks, who probably the best run of the night, to be honest. 9-yard gain on that one.
Well, Trey Shanks does have that big play capability, as we've talked about before, and so far tonight just have been unable to get out into the open field. Jordan Jansen's another guy who we saw against David City, really showed that he had that big play capability, reeling off a couple 40-yard touchdowns, some big runs. So, they're going to need them to be pretty active here.
So 2nd and 1, Johnson keeps it himself. Johnson gets a gain of 6 across the 50-yard line, so a first down, their first of the night, and Vikings maybe getting a little bit of momentum here.
Yeah, and they're going to stick with this no huddle, it looks like, which is a smart move, I think, by Kurt Frenzen. And, when you're playing a very aggressive defense like Scotus, to be able to keep your offense continually moving and to have those guys continually lining up defensively really tires them out. So, a smart move, I think, by Frenzen.
And there's the option again to Shanks. Not a lot there this time as he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage. That assault led by a slew of Scotus defenders.
Oh, Colson Cush, I think, is who was there in the tackle, but hard to tell. Like you said, a slew of them are in there, about the whole linebacking core. Nice job to get around on that edge, though, on that option and seal that one up.
So 2nd and 11 from the 49. Jet sweep to Trent Roth. Not a lot there. Gets a gain of 2. But you see the big bodies of that defensive line of the Shamrocks there. Matt Strecker, one of those in on the action, I believe. Nathan Torek, the other.
So, going to be 3rd and very long here. Wouldn't be surprised if we see him. You can see Austin Foltz is kind of lining up in the slot down here. Well, it looks like they're going to do a little stacked. So, deuces now for Lakeview. Look for them to maybe air this one out.
3rd and 10 from the 48. No drop back for Dylan Johnson. He was searching for Trent Roth, and it was overshot.
A little bit high. Jake Boss was dropping down to cover that one. I think if he gets that ball down a little bit and Trent Roth can hold on to it, they could probably move forward, and momentum at least could have got him a first down.
Looks like they're going to go for it here, though, Grant. High risk, high reward situation, and looks like actually timeout's going to be called prior to the play.
I think that maybe they would just want to make sure they get the correct call on the field here. Sometimes you see the team's about to go for it, then you see how the defense is lined up, and they decide, that's not ideal for us. Let's just punt this one away. But they are in Scotus territory, technically, just down about the 48-yard line. And Scotus really has been almost taking every drive, it seems like, from Lakeview territory. So this would be farther back than Scotus has had to start from all night anyways.
Coach Linder and the Shamrocks, the ones who called that timeout. Again, at the very least, if you decide to punt it for Kurt Frenzen, you at least had them waste one. We'll see what happens here, as looks like the offense is still coming out on the field for the Vikings.
Yeah, it could have been something where Linder sees that offense, sees where they're lined up, and the exact same thing, doesn't like where they're lined up. Probably got some vulnerabilities out there, and we'll see what they do here.
Well, quick snap, and it's the quarterback punt. Dylan Johnson takes a kick. Will it pay off? It takes a favorable bounce, and not quite. Just a little bit too much leg on that one, and goes for a touchback.
Yeah, Tate Jansen down there. Just not quite fast enough to touch that one back in bounds. You can see him running off the field. Nice kick nonetheless by the quarterback / punter. But the 20-yard line, the farthest back, Scotus has had to start from all night, as I just said. The 48 would have been.
So just at the halfway point of this second quarter, 6:05 to go, and the Viking defense blitzes, and there's some outside running room by Cole Harrington. Great pursuit, though, by Jansen, and you see that speed even on the defensive side of the ball.
And that's absolutely why he's so effective offensively. Now, Trey Shanks, as we talked about before, offensively does have the big play capability. So if he's healthy, there's really no need for Jansen unless he's tired. But Jansen does a great job on defense, too, at that linebacker position.
That was a gain of 2, and Shanks actually was showing blitz on that right side, and he got blocked into the middle. So I thought that play could have been a lot bigger with the outside contained, but Jansen just pursued from the middle and made a big play. Pelster in motion now as they do the fake pitch and hand it off to Dodson, who gets corralled at the line for a short gain.
And it looked like Connor Werdeman was one of the guys that had the initial contact there, initially grabbed him, and were able to hold him back. It looked early on Lakeview was having a little trouble tackling on that last touchdown drive. But things have picked up a little bit since.
Quinn Blaser has come into the game at receiver for the Shamrocks. He's on the far side. Missed the first half of the season. And there is Blaser. Prismus looks for him, hits him. And Blaser gets a first down and then some as he's tackled across the 42-yard line. That is a gain of 18.
Yeah, Blaser, a guy we haven't seen really anything out of, at least not in any of the games that we've had the chance to cover, but able to run just a little hitch right out there, out on that far right side. And as you can see, he's an athletic guy as well, able to get downfield for a little bit before being tackled by Dakota Pro-Rock. Is going to get credit for that one, but Blaser does a nice job there.
So 4:20 remaining in the half. Shamrocks on their own 42. Handoff right up the middle to Boss, and it doesn't look like a whole lot, Grant, but still, that's 3 yards. That was actually Dodson, excuse me, but Shamrock offense just pounding right away.
Yeah, and that's what's so dangerous, as I continue to say about these backs, with Dodson and Boss up the middle, even when they're not busting it for a big play, it seems like they're still getting 3 to 4 yards, which, is hard to argue with if you're when that's what you essentially want out of your run offense.
So option around the outside, and Shanks brings Prismus down from behind for looks like no gain.
Shanks a little bit faster than Prismus on foot. Does a nice job getting around there. A little option action. Prismus' second, I think that'll be his second recorded carry of this game so far. And with the interchangeability of all the backs that they have, you know, it's important for Prismus to, you know, stay fluent with all these backs and, you know, really direct this offense, and he does a great job at that and kind of manage the game.
Another timeout by the Shamrocks with 2:53 to go and a 3rd and 6 upcoming. So a very crucial down as the Vikings got the ball to start things off. If they could stop them here and go down on the offensive end and get some points on the board, they put themselves in a much better situation going into half than should you not stop them, obviously, and then Shamrock score again.
Yeah, the Lakeview defense is really going to have to step up here. You know, it's much better to go, like you said, go into half. Even if they can't find a score here, if you're going into half and you're only down 2 touchdowns, still very manageable as far as morale for this team. And morale is going to be a big thing in this locker room at halftime when you're facing a team like Scotus and if they're unable to put any points on the board. Definitely got to keep their heads up.
So here it is after the timeout, 3rd and 6. Harrington in motion. They fake it to Harrington. Play action. Prismus lets it fly and hits Dalton Taylor. What a great pass and adjustment. And Grant, I think the defensive back for the Vikings just sort of lost track of things.
Yeah, he's trying to catch up there, and Dalton there on that corner route, it looked like, just did a nice job, and Prismus did a nice job of putting that ball in the right spot. That was Dakota Prorock there on the coverage, but I'll tell you what, Taylor's just so lanky and big. He's a hard man to cover there on those edges, and the corner route's probably one of the most difficult routes to cover in football, especially when you got such a height difference like that.
So a gain of 20, and yes, 6'4" target. That is Dalton Taylor that caught that one. Jake Boss pounds forward for another 3 yards.
See Jansen and Zimba, a couple of those guys there in on that tackle.
Nearing the 2-minute mark, 2:20 to go. As the Shamrocks threaten again. On the Viking 32, 2nd and 6. Pelster in motion. There's the pitch to Pelster. Gets around the outside, knocked out of bounds. We'll see where they mark him out at. Looked like enough for a first down.
Yeah, Pelster was battling a little bit of groin injury earlier this season, but seems to be doing pretty well right now as he's kind of just limberly running up and down this field. A difficult man to tackle.
So gain of 10 on that last carry, more than enough for the first down. The Shamrocks now nearing the red zone. Ball on the 22. Harrington in motion. There is the pitch. Harrington cuts it up. He has some room and inside the 5-yard line, down and near the 2.
And like we said, Harrington, a very difficult guy and a very dangerous guy once you get into that open field. Now, Scotus still in great position to put some more points on the board here before halftime.
Harrington coming off a game where he had 3 touchdowns against North Bend Central. He's actually almost has 10. He has 7 rushing and 2 receiving touchdowns on the year.
Yeah, nice little sweep action there that we see Pelster run that sometimes, but usually Harrington, if they throw out the pitch and a big block there to open things up. I see you got downfield, a big block by Caleb Oshtek.
So a minute 37 now. As Pelster tends to his shoe.
Got the tape on there. Like soccer style, you tape that around the laces.
It's important.
Hey, it is. I don't doubt the process.
So the Shamrocks, a fresh set of downs. 1st and goal to go from the 3, and right back to Boss 3 times in the end zone. They give it to him from 3 yards out. The senior is having a night. 20-0 Shamrocks.
Boss just doing a great job tonight on those short runs, just doing what he does best, lowering the shoulders, very powerful runner, and just moves forward for the easy touchdown. Not had so much luck tonight, Scotus, as far as extra points go, so we'll see if they can put this one through. We got a flag on the field. It looks like a legal substitution on Scotus, so they're going to move this one back and just make it a little more difficult to get this one through. There you see Coach Linder. Talking to his guys about that call. And that is going to be good.
So it's 21-0 now for the Shamrocks. 1:27 remaining in this half.
There you see the band keeping things lively here at Memorial Field. Scotus puts in that touchdown, and the Scotus band doing a nice job out here on this chilly evening. Boss going to be lining up to kick things away here with Chase Limburg back to return.
So 1:27 is still enough time for the Vikings. They really haven't gone to the air as much as they could. They tried to establish the run game and haven't had a lot of luck so far as there's a low kick, but you might imagine the Vikings may go take to the air before the half and try to get something on the board, as there is that return by Chase Limburg.
Yeah, Limburg, a guy who's very effective in that return position, does a nice job of finding holes and getting upfield. And yeah, well, curious to see if they're going to try and air this out a little bit more and kind of test this Scotus backfield, defensive backfield. You got Austin Foltz, just a really big target. We've seen do some nice things downfield. A couple other guys as well, but curious to see if they start airing out a little more, but I'm sure we'll see quite a bit of run.
Trips to the right for the Vikings, and there is a pass by Dylan Johnson. Hits his receiver. That's a gain of 12.
Yeah, and obviously within 2 minutes, you're going to see that kind of offense here.
There's Dozol on the reception.
Dozol a target. Johnson does like to hit on those kind of short passes, the short screen passes there. Dozol is a pretty quick little guy, so able to get open in that short field.
Junior, yeah, he's actually one of the leading receivers. He has 16 receptions for 190 yards, and so at junior, so he'll be back next year, which is good news for Coach Frenzen. Him alongside Austin Foltz lead the team with 16 catches apiece this season.
And he does a nice job there. You saw Cole Harrington there on the tackle.
Dozol actually, so he's having a little malfunction with his helmet. It's going to have to come off for at least one play.
That's always unfortunate.
Still 1:12 remaining, though, in the half. And I think that's going to be a false start. Looked like some of the receivers for the Vikings moved too soon.
Yeah, I got to move this one back. It looks like they're doing a read option there, but wouldn't be surprised now if they switch things up and decide to go back to the air. They see the trips formation down to the short side of the field. Opposite side of the field, actually.
Johnson again with time. He's going to let it fly. And good defense by Jackson Kumpf. He was searching for Jack Reeg. Couldn't find him.
Kumpf's going to get a pass interference call, and it's because he didn't turn his head around. It was nice defense, but if you don't get that head turned around as a defensive back and you're sitting in front of that ball, they're going to call you for that pass interference.
So a fresh set of downs for the Vikings as 54 seconds remain in this half. So they're going to spot things at the 48 of the Vikings. So 52 yards to go and 54 seconds to do it.
Definitely manageable. But they're going to have to keep it up in the air here.
And there's the read by Dylan Johnson. Nothing doing. The Shamrocks were not fooled. Gain of none. So clock's running 34 and counting. Johnson again flushed out of the pocket, lets it fly. It's a high one. It's floating into triple coverage. The Shamrocks knock it away. No harm done. Cole Harrington as well as Blas are in on the action.
Yeah, nice little chuck downfield. Unfortunately unable to connect, and it's pretty difficult when you got three athletic defensive backs down there. But third and long now. Gonna have to try and convert this one. See what they come out with. I wouldn't be surprised if they like to throw that long ball, but I wouldn't be surprised either if they do kind of a 10-yard slant.
There's 20 seconds left. The Vikings do have one timeout. 3rd and 9, though, from the 49. Press coverage being shown by the Shamrocks. Quick fake pass, actually. Dylan Johnson now lets it fly. Nobody around as Shohan gets in there for the tackle, or to knock him down, I should say, the rush, as well as Darren Wrinkle, and that brings up 4th and 9.
Yeah, the 10-yard slant there was the little fake route. It looked like he was covered up pretty good, so it might have been just reeling that one in because he didn't want to throw an interception, but we'll see if they do kind of the short punt kick here.
13 seconds to go, and it is 4th and 9. And here it is, a high one by Dylan Johnson, hits at the 25, and takes a Viking roll. Will be down near the 10-yard line with 4 seconds remaining in this opening half.
Smart move. I wouldn't be surprised if Scotus comes out here and just does a little quick kneel to end things and go into half. You never know. They might try and chuck it up for a touchdown, but I'm not sure that that's going to be the case right now with only 4 seconds to go.
Everything you could have asked for if you're head coach Tyler Linder or a Scotus fan, and the Vikings just searching for answers right now and are going to go into halftime as what it would appear, 21-0, and Shamrocks do down it, and that is going to be how things are at the break, 21-0. Shamrocks very much in control of this one. We're going to hear from head coach Kurt Frenzen for the Vikings and get his thoughts shortly as Taryn Campbell is going to wrangle him up. But while we wait for that, Grant, I mean, we've been talking about it this entire half, but just your thoughts on those first 2 quarters.
Well, I think, even looking into the future here, these last 2 quarters, I think Lakeview still has a chance to turn things around. Now, they just haven't been able to put together a drive here so far offensively, but they have shown some good things on defense. They're just going to have to stick with it and try and stay stubborn.
Shamrocks will be getting the ball to start things off this half. So right now we are going to hear from head coach Kurt Frenzen with the Lakeview Vikings as Taryn Campbell has him now on the sidelines.
Do that, we should be in a little bit better shape.
So you just talked about it. What do you need to do to get back in this game in the second half?
Well, we got to score. I mean, first and foremost, we got to hold them, and we got to score. We had terrible field position the whole first half until the last part there. And,
ladies and gentlemen, tonight the Scotus Flag Corps will be performing to Light 'em Up. Team members include Amy Husingfeld.
All right, you hear it from head coach Kurt Frenzen there. They need to score 21-0, looking for answers currently. We're going to be back with ColumbusNewsTeam.com with halftime coverage right after this.
Would you like to watch this game from above the crowd? When it comes to finding you a new home, the team at Total Realty have a game plan that'll put you above the crowd. Whether you're buying or selling, they will answer your questions and provide an expert offense to put you in the lead during the whole process. The Total Realty team members are real people living in your same community. They have the same concerns as you do, and one might just live in your own neighborhood. Your RE/MAX team members are the hometown experts with the world of experience. They don't just want to sell you homes, they want to make you happy. At Total Realty today, log on to ColumbusTotalRealty.com or see their full list of homes from the Columbus app, available on iPhone and Android devices.
Central Community College, investing in you. Academic transfer, business, health, and technical courses all available at a fraction of the cost of a university. Small class sizes for an enhanced educational experience. Get started on improving your future. Contact Central Community College Columbus campus.
Our economic future depends on tomorrow's skilled workforce. Dream it, do it, and Central Community College Columbus is here to help young adults find careers in advanced manufacturing and related businesses. Visit dreamitdoit.com for more information or tour the Central Community College Columbus campus.
Rest easy. State Farm agent Annette Alt is there for you. Call 402-564-8581 today for the service you deserve.
Would you like to watch this game from above the crowd? When it comes to finding you a new home, the team at Total Realty have a game plan that'll put you above the crowd. Whether you're buying or selling, they will answer your questions and provide an expert offense to put you in the lead during the whole process. The Total Realty team members are real people living in your same community. They have the same concerns as you do, and one might just live in your own neighborhood. Your RE/MAX team members are the hometown experts with the world of experience. They don't just want to sell you homes, they want to make you happy. At Total Realty today, log on to ColumbusTotalRealty.com or see their full list of homes from the Columbus app, available on iPhone and Android devices.
Welcome to Columbus Tire and Service in historic downtown Columbus. We as a team never promise more than we can deliver, and we always give the customer more than they expect. We're authorized dealers for Goodyear, Hankook, and Falcon, but we can get you any vehicle tire you want. We offer full automotive repair by 4 qualified, experienced technicians. We are a qualified farm tire dealer, and we offer 24-hour on-the-farm tire service. Request service, shop for tires, or request a quote at ColumbusTireandService.com or give us a call to set an appointment, 402-564-6229.
Hi, I'm Dee Hansen. I'm the Marketing Director, and we would like to introduce you to Bank of the Valley.
Community-minded, family-centered, measurable relationships. When it comes to your business, agriculture, and personal banking needs, trust Bank of the Valley.
We're obviously a locally owned bank, but we're also a bank that's very involved.
The most important thing is when you walk in the front door, everybody knows your first name. We are small-town banking with all the modern conveniences.
Bank of the Valley in Bellwood, David City, Platte Center, and their brand-new location in Columbus.
National Bank.
I have Petty Ernst here.
Bank has
I have Petty Schmidt from the Ernst Auto in Columbus with me here tonight. Petty, let's talk about the Ernst Auto Body Shop tonight. Ernst Auto Body Shop has been part of the Columbus community for several years.
Yes, Ernst Auto Body Shop has been a staple in Columbus for several years. We pride ourselves on being Columbus's premier auto repair shop.
What are some of the things you offer to customers walking in the door?
We offer free computerized repair estimates with no appointment necessary. We have an excellent relationship with most major and local insurance companies, so you can rest assured that your vehicle will be repaired to the utmost expectations.
Patty, I would guess you see different repair needs throughout the year.
Yes. Fall we see damage from deer. Winter we see damage from snow and ice. Summer and spring we see hail damage, and then all year long we see your typical unexpected damage.
Kathy Johnson,
we rely on our vehicles to get us everywhere, and then when the unexpected happens, it can be tough.
Yeah. We understand that having your vehicle repaired can be after an accident can be an overwhelming and frustrating experience. That's where our knowledgeable and experienced body shop representatives take the time necessary to explain exactly what's going on with your vehicle, help you schedule repairs that best fit your life, and work to provide a quick turnaround to get you back on the road.
Where can our audience find Ernst Auto Body?
We are located on 23rd Street behind behind the old orange Toyota next to Burger King.
Thank you. And now we'll get you back to Brandon and Grant for halftime.
Welcome to Ernst, one of the largest dealers in northeast Nebraska. With 8 acres of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. At the new Ernst, we're doing things differently. Tired of haggling? Tired of back and forth? Let us show you how easy it can be, and we never charge stock fees. Finding the vehicle you want at the best possible price is our priority. We know you can shop anytime or buy anywhere. Shop Ernst, East Highway 30 in Columbus.
And welcome back, halftime. We are here on ColumbusNewsTeam.com, a special halftime presentation for Columbus Scotus. So in celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl, the NFL is giving out commemorative golden footballs to any high school that has a player that was on a Super Bowl roster. And there you see Mr. Blaha for Scotus, who led them to a state championship. He's presenting that golden football to Columbus Scotus. He not only led Scotus to a state championship, he was a track star. He went on to play for the 1970-1971 Husker football team, the national championship teams, and then went on to play for the Minnesota Vikings when they played in 2 Super Bowls in the mid-70s. And you see a very cool situation as he passes the ball off to athletic director Gary Pitts. Something that's, in my opinion, extremely, extremely cool. Only 2,000 high schools in the entire state have been presented a football, and we're going to hear from Mr. Blaha now and his thoughts.
I'd like to thank my coaches. They put up with me an awful lot. It couldn't have been easy. I'm proud to represent Scotus. Great school. Great tradition. Keep it up. And thank you, fans, for supporting me.
Thank you, Joe. At Scotus, Joe competed in football, basketball, and track.
Again, that's Jack Blaha, a Scotus athletic great, presenting the commemorative golden football, which was given to Scotus by the NFL in celebration of the 50th Super Bowl anniversary that is coming up this February. Close to 3,000 schools in the United States were given one of these things, again, for any player or head coach that went to a high school that ended up playing on a Super Bowl roster. Mr. Blaha representing the Shamrocks very well and very proud, as that is something that's going to be in that Scotus Shamrocks trophy case for a long, long time, Grant.
Earning all Big 8 honors twice.
Yeah, roughly 37,000 high schools with football programs in the country here, and that's crazy to think about. Somewhere between 2,000 to 3,000 were able to get one of these footballs, and probably roughly most of those 37,000 schools have probably had about at least one player make it to that next level at the NFL level, but to that Super Bowl level, to be in the Super Bowl is just a whole nother thing. So congratulations to Scotus and Blaha.
And Blaha was all Big 8 cornerback, just giving you a little bit more background on him when he played on those Husker teams of 70 and 71 with the great Bob Devaney, and won those championships. So he's a all-conference cornerback, and that's where he played in the pros. And again, for the Minnesota Vikings, and just something that's very cool, and we'll listen to the PA announcer as he tells us more about this prestigious award.
I'm sure he's still ready to get out there. He probably wants to get out on the field tonight.
He looks pretty spry. I think he's ready to go.
Do a little work on those receivers out there on the edge. Maybe try and give Fultz a run for his money. I don't know.
And brother-in-law and sister-in-law, Greg and Cindy Malibu. Once again, let's give Joe Blaha a big round of applause.
And rightfully so, Blaha getting that standing ovation from the crowd as he now poses for a picture. That's going to be one to keep.
Yeah, you got to get the pictures in there.
Somebody want to do me a favor? Cover Mike the Vicky's ear, because when we announce how much Jill just won, I don't want Mike to know.
All right, well, that wraps up the special commemorative presentation ceremony as his family does come down. We're going to take a quick break, but congratulations to the Shamrocks, to Jack Blaha, and that presentation from the NFL. A very cool honor. We'll be back shortly.
Hi, I'm Dee Hansen. I'm the marketing director, and we would like to introduce you to Bank of the Valley.
Community-minded, family-centered, measurable relationships. When it comes to your business, agriculture, and personal banking needs, trust Bank of the Valley.
We really focus on the people that we serve. Relationships are the most important thing to us, and because we're smaller, we're flexible enough and we can make those quick decisions to meet your needs.
Bank of the Valley in Bellwood, David City, Platte Center, and their brand new location in Columbus. At Columbus Motor Company, they feel shopping for a new vehicle should not be complicated. That's why during the Chrysler Anniversary Celebration, they offer everyone their very best price 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. At Columbus Motor Company, it's just one low price, plain and simple, always. So if you're ready for a new vehicle, stop by Columbus Motor Company, your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer at 2806 23rd Street in Columbus, or visit them at onelowpricene.com. Columbus Motor Company, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always.
Wake up in your first home. Wake up in a home you've made a bit bigger. Wake up in a home with a new address. Wake up in a home that doesn't even have an address. As your life evolves, your dream home evolves too, and protecting it takes committed support. At American Family Insurance, we support your dreams.
In Columbus, see American Family agent Roger Iwanski.
Home Real Estate is an all-star team of realtors who are ready to work for you. We work tirelessly to sell your home or find the right home to suit your needs. I am Home Real Estate's broker, Don Dreesen, and I have 40 years of experience. I know Columbus. Home Real Estate, serving Columbus and the surrounding areas.
Columbus Community Hospital is leading the way in better technology for our patients. The Tournier Simplicity system is changing the lives of shoulder replacement patients across the country. Developed by a team including Columbus's own Dr. Ed Feringer, patients experience a bone-preserving procedure that is shorter and less invasive, meaning they get back to doing the things they love faster. To find out if Simplicity is right for you, go to www.columbushosp.org.
Hi, I'm Dee Hansen. I'm the marketing director, and we would like to introduce you to Bank of the Valley.
Community-minded, family-centered, measurable relationships. When it comes to your business, agriculture, and personal banking needs, trust Bank of the Valley.
We're obviously a locally owned bank, but we're also a bank that's very involved.
The most important thing is when you walk in the front door, everybody knows your first name. We are small town banking with all the modern conveniences.
Bank of the Valley in Bellwood, David City, Platte Center, and their brand new location in Columbus. At Columbus Motor Company, they feel shopping for a new vehicle should not be complicated. That's why during the Chrysler Anniversary Celebration, they offer everyone their very best price 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. At Columbus Motor Company, it's just one low price, plain and simple, always. So if you're ready for a new vehicle, stop by Columbus Motor Company, your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer at 2806 23rd Street in Columbus, or visit them at onelowpricene.com. Columbus Motor Company, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always.
A&J Guns is truly your tactical connection. From accessories like Magpul, Aimpoint, and Vortex to firearms, ammo, and suppressors, we can set you up with what you need. If we don't have it, we can get it. A&J Guns in downtown Columbus.
Hi, I'm Dee Hansen. I'm the marketing director, and we would like to introduce you to Bank of the Valley.
Community-minded, family-centered, measurable relationships. When it comes to your business, agriculture, and personal banking needs, trust Bank of the Valley.
We really focus on the people that we serve. Relationships are the most important thing to us, and because we're smaller, we're flexible enough and we can make those quick decisions to meet your needs.
Bank of the Valley in Bellwood, David City, Platte Center, and their brand new location in Columbus.
And welcome back to halftime here on ColumbusNewsTeam.com at Pawnee Park's Memorial Field. Shamrocks leading the Vikings in this rivalry clash 21-0 at this point. We're going to take a look back at some of those first half highlights. It was pretty much all Scotus, as you might imagine, from the scoreboard. And they've really just been doing it all on the ground, but here was one of the bright spots for the Vikings defense as Austin Foltz came in there with a sack. And now on the defensive end for the Shamrocks, Jake Boss. He has 3 touchdowns on the day already, but also add a safety to his total. He's accounted for 20 of the 21 points. Cole Harrington got an extra point in there. We'll give him credit as well, but Boss having a heck of a night. And there's another run by the Shamrocks, and here is Boss's 3rd touchdown from 4 yards out. Actually, check, that's his 2nd touchdown. I can't keep track of them all. They're all similar. They're all from about 3 to 5 yards, and they're all just pounding it right up the middle. This was a bright spot, though. Dylan Johnson got a little bit going towards the end of that first half. He also had a nice little pitch play to Trey Shanks, but this was on a 3rd and long. Finding Dalton Taylor on that one is Prismus, and that's pretty much sort of the story of the half. Bailey Pelser also got it going on the ground. Cole Harrington, the leading rusher, currently with 44 yards for Scotus. And wrapping things up here, Dylan Johnson has 12 yards for the Vikings, and there is Cole Harrington, still searching for the end zone for the first time. And Grant, as we look at these and kind of see what needs to be done in the second half for the Vikings to get back into this one, it sounds simple. They need to score, but how do they go about doing that?
Well, if you look at the pass yards, 21 for Lakeview, 21 pass yards, not the score, but 21 pass yards. It doesn't sound like they've had a lot of success in the air, but the few times that they went to the air, they've had some opportunities. So I think they need to try and open up the passing game a little bit more, kind of play a little bit more of that hand. Otherwise, defensively, they just got to get a little bit more stubborn.
And looking just a little bit more at these stats, the Shamrocks have 171 yards of total offense, and that's opposed to the Vikings' 44. So Lakeview just hasn't really gotten anything going on the offensive end, and it's tough to win football games if you don't do that and don't move the ball. So I guess I sound like a simpleton, but that's what needs to be done for the Vikings to get back into this thing.
Well, yeah, there's no really other way to put it. And Coach Frenzen said it at halftime when Taryn asked him, what do you need to do to get back in this game? And he's like, we need to score. It's simple as that. If you don't put points on the game, especially just against any team in a football game, you're not going to win. So the offense does need to find a way here to kind of get some things moving.
And the Vikings will be kicking off to the Shamrocks to start this second half as Kumpf and Harrington go back to return. Kicking things off for the Vikings is Nicholas Dolzal.
The refs out there getting things ready.
Frenzen and company would love nothing more than to force a 3-and-out here or a defensive stop, if nothing else. And
Nick Dolzal, 23.
There is that kicker. We're going to give him the credit he deserves.
Cole Tessendorf.
Nick Dolzal, the one doing the kicking duties.
Cole Tessendorf getting a little 11 there too.
He's probably on the coverage team.
He's doing some action out there. He's making some moves. Dolzal also doing a few nice things defensively. One play I know we got highlighted him because he was unable to get a tackle on Bailey Pelser down the edge, just a hair close that could have been a big play. But besides that, he has done some pretty positive things, kind of moving around defensively for the Vikings.
Well, he's going to give it a boot here as we are just about to get underway. Glad you're still with us here on ColumbusNewsTeam.com. Third quarter action now beginning, fielded at the 10-yard line by Jackson Kumpf. Kumpf hurdles a pile of players and gets down near the 30.
Always love a good little hurdle action. Dangerous, though. You're vulnerable. You get up there in the little hurdle action. It's a dangerous game.
You definitely put yourself at the mercy of everybody else around, and there's really, once you go in the air, there's not much you can do, which is the scary thing.
It's not like a hot air balloon where you can drop or add weight and kind of move as you please up and down.
Now we're getting into science. I like it.
You got to get into it. You got to look at this. We're not sports science, but we are. We got to get in there a little bit with the references.
When the oxygen and the carbon or the helium gets too heavy, I don't know. Back to football, I suppose.
Elements on elements. Elements on elements on elements.
Oh, short carry there for Harrington, I believe, and that's a gain of 3. So ball at the 31.
Like our producer-director Aaron Trout would say, everybody's got choices. And he chose to jump that one.
It's not lying. That's a fact of life. So 2nd and 7 as the Vikings look to put a slow to this offense of the Shamrocks. And Pelster now in motion. They give it to him up the middle. And again, what appears like was going to be a short gain turns into more as Pelster gets tackled in the 40, and that's going to be a first down.
And not sure what Pelster's hopes are, I guess, why he's looking at that next level after he's finished with high school football. But one of those guys you see is a short running back, but you know the benefit of being a short running back like Pelster is able to keep his feet moving and just continually moving downfield. You can see him just chopping his feet, never stopping, and just a hard kid to bring down when he gets going.
Well, he got his team a first down, ball now on the 40, so they go right back to him. This time, he's using his speed to get to the outside, and that's a gain of 11 and another first down for the Shamrocks.
And really does a great job of getting around and working those outside edges. Credit those Scotus linemen as well for getting some movement and opening things up.
The game is enough for another first down for the Shamrocks. The ball is spotted at the Lakeview 49-yard line.
So Scotus now in Viking territory for the first time of this half. And Prismus going back to Blaser. This time throws it a little bit behind him. Incomplete.
Blaser guy, like you said, we haven't really battled that injury earlier in the year, and we haven't seen much of him, but he is a very athletic kid, does a nice job outside on those edges. Unable to bring that down there, but even though they don't run, a nice asset to add on top of Taylor out on that receiving core.
So 2nd and 10 now. And they go to Harrington on the jet sweep. Good block by Pelster there, and Harrington gets near the 40, close to another first down. That's a gain of 8 and some extracurricular activities and flags thrown.
I wonder if we're going to see unsportsmanlike conduct of some kind called here. It's kind of hard to see what was going on. All of a sudden, players were falling down. So they're going to call that unsportsmanlike conduct on Scotus. And it was kind of hard to tell what was going on. We saw that hit coming in late, and you see the late shove there by Jackson Kumpf, it looks like. And the play was definitely done, so I think that looks like what they're calling there. It looked like maybe Jackson Kumpf had started to play, but they're going to show that the personal foul there, unsportsmanlike conduct against Scotus. So back in their own territory now.
Which again brings up a good chance for Lakeview as it's 3rd and very long. Make that 3rd and 17. Vikings show blitz from the backside. There's the completion to Pelster. It's not going to be near a first down, though. Just a gain of 5 on that little pass.
Jansen there out there on that coverage in the flats, getting the tackle on Pelster. A nice job of covering that one up.
So that's what you want if you're the Vikings, a punting situation on the Shamrocks' opening drive of the half. Now you just need to generate some offense.
Yeah, definitely a positive coming out here, and like you said, exactly what you want. I mean, anytime you come out on defense, this is the result you want. You want the other team to punt, but definitely a big stop for Lakeview coming into this half. Now, granted, some of that was helped by that personal foul.
And a shanked punt as it goes out near the 40, which will be a net gain of about 10. It looks like it just went off the side of the foot of the punter, and that was Tate Voon-Cannon.
Yeah, Voon-Cannon, he saw that ball was spiraling there, and that's definitely, when people think when you punt, you're just trying to knock that thing as hard as you can downfield, but you're really trying to sweep the leg a little bit so you get a little spiral on there. It looks like he swept it just a little bit too much, came off the side. And now Lakeview in decent field position here, almost about midfield.
Yeah, they spot that at the Viking 48, which means that punt was less than 10 yards from the initial line of scrimmage. So another big chance here if the Vikings can do something with it.
Scotus not in definite trouble right now, but definitely an opportunity to capitalize.
And there's the little jet sweep to Lemberg. He does a lot of returns, and he's fast and athletic. Gets a gain of 7 on that one.
You see Roth and Foltz out there on the edge blocking, and Lemberg, like I said earlier, a guy you don't see a ton in this offense. We see him like he just did right there in some of those sweep-type formations, where they get him coming across the formation, do a little read option or something like that. But he is a fast kid, so definitely a utility player.
2nd and 3 for the Vikings. This time Dylan Johnson's going to keep it himself. Stood up at the line by the Shamrocks. And that was Evan Shohan who was initially there.
And a nice job by Shohan to find the hole and stuff that one. Dylan Johnson, a decently big kid at quarterback. See him down in the field there, does a nice job. But Evan Shohan met him at the line, and not much going for Lakeview at that point.
8 minutes to go in this third quarter, and a 3rd and 2. And it's time to go back to Lemberg. He's going to get around the corner, and Lemberg, that was a big tackle by the Shamrocks because he looked like he was about to break that one all the way.
And you can just see that speed as he comes around that corner on that sweep. Lemberg getting up slowly, and we do have a flag down on the field. But Lemberg, as he just turns that corner, turns on the burners before getting hit.
See if we see anything extra there, because I believe that flag came after the play again.
So we might be seeing another. So dead ball.
Sportsmanlike conduct. So that's the second unsportsmanlike or personal foul against the Shamrocks on a dead ball.
So something uncharacteristic of the Scotus team, and really just unnecessary at this point. You know, you're controlling the game. You're up 21-0. Lakeview got a nice stop there, but you know, they got that stop on this last drive was a big part to that personal foul. So you really need to eliminate those because they're taking place for no reason.
So ball on the 21 now. Dylan Johnson, not a lot of room again. He is not finding any space up the middle. That's a loss of 1.
So Jake Boss, and it looked like Reeves as well. And Cobes, Jake Boss and Torque getting in there on that tackle for Scotus.
So 2nd and 13, it was a loss of 3 on that carry by Dylan Johnson. Now he's going to go to the air, does the pump fake, hits his receiver, and tackled near the 10-yard line on that one. That completion goes to Dolzal.
Dolzal, who we were talking about just moments ago, does a nice job and does a great job on those slants. They love trying to hit him on those little screen passes or those slants for about 10 to 5 yards. He's a very quick cat. Get him on the inside. Does a nice little pitch and kicks. Gets tackled by Harrington, but not before he's able to mark up a first down.
Well, the Vikings needed 13. They got 14. So now 1st and goal from the 10. And this time, Dylan Johnson hands it off, and the Shamrocks have that pretty much well figured out. Trent Roth, nothing there.
Yeah, Dylan Johnson sold that fake pretty good up the middle there, juking and jiving his way upfield, but Roth unable to get movement forward, but still, with 2nd down in. We still got the markers out, so if they happen to get to the inch line, they can get
hey, there you go.
Fresh set of downs.
They have the stacks again on either side. Trent Roth behind Dylan Johnson. There's that no-look pass again, and looked like maybe a little bit of miscommunication, but nobody really near that pass.
You're not sure if they were trying to maybe run a little essentially it's almost, you stack the receivers like that. You send one downfield in front of the DBs, and then you drop a quick slant off the middle on that second receiver. And it looks like that might have been kind of what they were trying to do, but looked like Lindbergh maybe just wasn't able to get across.
So brings up a 3rd and 10 now for the Vikings, who desperately need to find the end zone. It's like the same play to the opposite side, and Austin Foltz looked like the intended target, but wasn't too close either.
Try to get him over the top there, and it looks like they're going to bring the field goal unit out here to try and kick one through and get a couple of points on the board here.
Austin Foltz, broken up by Dalton Taylor for the Shamrocks, so bring up a 4th and 10 for Lakeview.
Yeah, Austin Foltz, the intended target. A big target of that, too. Got the neck roll even. Makes him look even bigger.
6'1", 190 pounds. It's a healthy size for a tight end as the field goal attempt is up. It's got the distance. It's very high and good, so the Vikings are on the board. Nick Dolzal splits the uprights from 30 yards out.
That thing got some height on it. That was a tall kick.
Got the proper amount of velocity, the right angle.
I was going to say lift was not an issue with that one.
Well, that is a positive now for the Vikings as they are on the board. So 21-3, a couple more stops, a couple more scores, and there you go. I should be a coach.
You should be a coach. As simple as that. Yeah, no, just coming away with some points is very big. Obviously, it would have been great if they could have capitalized off the personal fouls there and got in a touchdown. That would have been huge. But just getting some points on the board, no matter how you do it, is a morale booster. There you see the Lakeview fans bundled up there on the opposite side of the field. But just that morale booster of your offense, the fact that you're able to put some points on the board and kind of get things going. So far, Lakeview winning this quarter, winning this half 3-0. Dolzal, the man who just kicked it through the uprights, getting ready to kick this one downfield. You got Harrington and Kampf back to receive.
High kick by the Vikings, fielded near the 15, and Harrington with it. And he barrels forward across the 30. And a late push there, it looks like, by the Vikings. No flag, though.
And as they were going through there, Lakeview's Chase Lindbergh, it looked like, with a big hit downfield, too. You can see that one there on Kampf. Ooh. But yeah, you see quite a bit of that contact down there.
What you might expect to see in a rivalry game. It's, as long as nobody gets hurt, it's a little fun, It adds to the excitement.
Hey, it's football and kickoff. That's like the definition that you just got to run down and try and hit somebody. So good to see the Lakeview players still out, got a little energy in them.
And a short carry right up the middle.
Like Bosk moving that one forward as usual. Going forward for about 3 yards, it looks like.
And we'll see the Shamrocks coming off those 2 personal fouls. See if they calm down a little bit more, because that's the last thing you want to do to give the Vikings any sort of momentum. They are on the board. Then if you give them a chance, you never know what can happen in a rivalry game. And there's the Viking defense playing inspired.
Oh.
And there is that flag, and I think that one's going against Lakeview.
Yeah, it looked like Zach Cobes is going to get that one for the late hit there after the play was over. And they are going to call that one on Cobes, I believe, nonetheless against Lakeview. So this one's going to move forward and give Scotus a fresh set of downs.
And that's unfortunate for the Vikings, too, because that's really the first time they stopped Bailey Pelster for a gain of less than 6 or 7. They had about no gain, but then they end up giving it away.
Well, really starting to look like they're kind of clicking. They're not giving up they weren't giving up any big runs. They were getting their linebackers in the holes. They were getting stops. They were kind of filling gaps and Just an unnecessary penalty if you're Lakeview, and one you just really don't want to give up against a team like Scotus, who's going to come back and punch you in the mouth again if you give them an opportunity to.
So after the penalty, the Shamrocks are on their own 48 with a fresh set of downs. They go right back to Pelster, who gets around the outside. He's still going. Tackled near the 42, 4 to gain a 6. And again, another one. I didn't see what happened on that one, Grant, but I did see the flag fly.
No, they're coming from all over the field, and they keep coming after the play, so you can tell the intensity. I mean, you see guys helping each other up, but, man, there you are. That's going to be called against Scotus. I'm not sure who that one was on, but they're going to be moving that one back again, and it's just penalty after penalty.
And now you see Linder just talking to one of the officials to kind of figure out what's going on, or what the call was, or who did it. Because when you find out which player it is, you say, hey, maybe come off, sit on the sideline for a bit and cool down and kind of regather yourself, if you will. And you see the flag thrown, but you don't see what quite happened. But you see the Lakeview player also clapping, coming off the sideline. So regardless, it's now 2nd and 20 for the Shamrocks. Pelster, though, room to run. There is a flag in the backfield as Pelster is taking this one for a long gain. Gets across the 20. We will see if this stands.
And there's a nice little double pitch reverse to open things up for Pelster under the middle. As you can see, get downfield for the big gain. We'll see if they are going to call this one against Scotus or not. It looks like they are going to move this one back, so I wonder if we're going to get a holding penalty here.
You can hear the Scotus fans disagree. And it is holding against the Shamrocks. Grant, see if you can find it here.
Here we go. We got a little pitch from Harrington off to Pelster, and it looks like that might have been back there on maybe Wyatt Gutzmer, or one of those linemen that were kind of progressing downfield. You get out on that shoulder pad at all, you get a little outside at all on those shoulders with your hands, or they see a little jersey pull, they're going to call that one. And that's what coaches, I think that's the big fear. Whenever you get a big run like that, you're like, where's the flag? But unfortunately for Pelster, a little bit of conditioning never hurt anybody, though.
Well, if he wants to do it again, he can, because his team is facing a 1st and 30 from their own 33. Well, maybe make that 2nd and 30. The scoreboard and the field goal markers are conflicting. We'll see what it actually is after this play, but Prismus rolls out and he has pressure, lets it float in. They're going to give it to him. Nice completion, as that was Kumpf who got a foot down.
Yeah, and for a second you saw Dakota Prorock kind of progressing downfield toward the sideline, looking to maybe get an interception before Kumpf came out there. And Lakeview defense doing a nice job getting into the backfield, not giving Prismus much room to do anything. And you saw Dakota Prorock there coming downfield, but then Kumpf did a nice job of staying with the play and getting the catch.
So the down situation has been remedied. That was 2nd, so that makes this 3rd and 19 for Scotus on their own 48. Pass again for Prismus. He's going to let it fly. Shamrocks fans screaming for a flag, but they're not going to get it.
I think it's the right call. They're not throwing a flag. He had his head turned. They were both in contact with each other. The ball was a little bit too high over top. And Cole Harrington going downfield turned his hips, I think, just a little bit too soon. He should have stayed in full sprint, maybe a little bit longer, and tried to catch that one over the shoulder, kind of turning around, try and do something. But I think that was probably the right call. But a big stop for Lakeview here.
And if they do turn around and find the end zone, that would definitely make this game a lot more interesting, as there's 3:58 to go in the 3rd. Low snap by the Shamrocks. It is punted away, though, by Tanner Spencieri. Not a very far punt again. The Shamrocks having a little bit of difficulties on that end. It's going to be down at the 40-yard line of the Vikings.
Shohan and Kampf going to down that one quick, and Lakeview, a big opportunity, like you said, to put some points on the board. If they can convert this into a touchdown, which is going to be no simple task the way this Scotus defense has been playing tonight, that'll be big.
The Vikings have definitely had their most success through the air, not a lot on the ground. We'll see how they approach this drive. And Roth on the jet sweep. He has nowhere to go as there's about 6 Shamrocks there to stop him. Gain of 0.
Also in number 32, Marcus Dotson. No gain on the play. Second and 10. On the bottom of the 5th.
So going to be 2nd and 10 here. We see him do a little bit through the air. We haven't seen a ton of it, but we've seen a little bit. And for the most part, it's either been a downfield just kind of heave, or it's been that 10-yard slant.
And then they decide to give it back to Chase Lemberg, who again finds room on the outside. That's a gain of 14 and a Lakeview first down.
And he has just been extremely effective out there on those edges, just kind of getting around the end and just a fast kid. I said fat kid. I didn't mean he's obviously not fat.
We won't tell him you said that.
We won't tell him I said, please. I apologize, young Lemberg. But he does a great job getting around there on the edge, and just with that speed, just doing a good job finding the first down. And that just really opens up that read option for them if they want to kind of test those waters some more.
Well, there is that read option. Johnson keeps it himself, falls forward for a gain of 2 on that one to bring up a 2nd and 8.
Johnson, tackle led by number 32, Marcus Dotson.
So Marcus Dotson there on that tackle.
2nd and 8.
Dotson, one of the leading tacklers for the Shamrock defense, had 32 solo and assisted coming into this one.
Yeah, just a real force there defensively at that linebacker position.
And timeout Vikings is going to be called as Coach Frenzen wants to talk things over with 2:26 remaining in this third quarter, and his team with a 2nd and 8 upcoming.
The Scotus girls volleyball team will complete the regular season with a visit to Omaha Skutt. First serve for varsity is scheduled for 7:15.
So Scotus going to try and readjust here a little bit, try and figure things out. Definitely not, like I said, they're not in trouble of, losing right now, but you really do want to get things back on track and get back to controlling the game, because the second half, Lakeview has done a good job of kind of keeping things together.
So we'll see what the Vikings draw up here. With 2:26 remaining in the quarter.
Not quite as fast as those first 2 quarters went by.
Now that first one was gone in the blink of an eye, and Dylan Johnson nowhere to go as the Scotus defense snuffs that one out and gets him for a loss. Big play there.
And again, you see that contact. The play's kind of over, but you still see guys kind of shoving each other. Great job by those linebackers to get in the backfield, though, nonetheless. Really break things down. Dylan Johnson, no room to run. And you can see just swarming defensively. You see Voss there eventually kind of capping things off.
So 3rd and 11 now. Situation the Vikings need to convert. They have trips to the near side, twins to the far, and then Lemberg goes in motion. This time they fake it to him. Johnson throws across his body, hits his receiver in Trent Roth, but he's still going to be about 4 yards short.
Really good play call if that route's a little bit deeper. Roth really covered up pretty heavy. No room to work. We'll see if they come out here and go for it here on first down with not much time remaining in this quarter. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get things going with the opportunity to potentially get some more points here.
It looks like they are. 4th and 4 from the 39. Vikings going for it here. Play action they has. There is receiver. First down for the Vikings and then some. He's going to take it all the way for a touchdown. Lakeview is back in this one, and no one else than Chase Limburg taking it all the way.
And with no laundry on the field, we have a absolutely great game right now with Limburg coming back and putting those points on the board. Like you said, just opening it up. A great job getting across this field, getting across. You can see Coach Frenzen fired up there on the sidelines and the rest of their coaching staff. And a big play for Lakeview to get in the end zone here before they get into the fourth quarter even and make this a close game.
Extra point attempt is up and good, so 21-10. 11-point ball game.
That was just a nice little drop over the top, and Limburg, like I said, just did a great job working across the formation and finding open ground, kind of sneaking on by those linebackers, and I thought he was going to get tackled for sure. You see him open up across that formation, just sneaking underneath those linebackers, and a big block opened that one up for the touchdown, and Limburg speeds his way in for 6. So Dolezal looked to kick this one away, and Lakeview now down only 21-10, down 21-0 at half, and really just doing a great job of coming in and kind of, you got to credit a couple of those personal fouls that Scotus put on themselves, but doing a nice job, Lakeview, enforcing kind of their game plan and their will on this third quarter. And so far leading this third quarter 10-0. Frenzen, like you said earlier, really a veteran coach in his 15th year at Lakeview. That one's going to go out of the end zone.
So touchback for the Shamrocks, and this is really a situation for either team where, you never want to give away personal foul penalties or dead ball penalties, but now that this game has gotten closer for the Shamrocks, you don't want to give any more to the Vikings, and the Vikings still trying to get back into this one, can't afford to give any free yards to Scotus.
Bailey Pelster lined up to the left there, as you can see, coming in the motion. And they're going to hand it off to him.
Pelster still battling. He's hit behind the line initially. And you can see the sidelines for the Vikings very fired up. It's going to be a short gain, if any.
What?
Pelster, that guy that's like many other running backs. Always has the ability to break one free for a huge gain. But Lakeview not budging at this point in time.
So 2nd and 8 now for the Shamrocks. Handoff right up the middle, and there is a big play by Foltz hitting Harrington for a short gain, if any. Harrington a little slow to get up.
That was a real big hit by Foltz. He was able to get there really. Just did a great job of getting in that backfield extremely quick with a lot of force, and we're going to go into that's going to end the third quarter.
So 21-10, the Vikings putting up all 10 of those points in this third, shutting out the Shamrocks. And we have 1 quarter left to play here on ColumbusNewsTeam.com. Stay with us. We'll be back.
Cargill
Columbus Community Hospital is leading the way in better technology for our patients. The Tournier Simplicity system is changing the lives of shoulder replacement patients across the country. Developed by a team including Columbus's own Dr. Ed Feringer, patients experience a bone-preserving procedure that is shorter and less invasive, meaning they get back to doing the things they love faster. To find out if Simplicity is right for you, go to www.columbushosp.org.
Welcome to Columbus Tire and Service in historic downtown Columbus. We as a team never promise more than we can deliver, and we always give the customer more than they expect. We're authorized dealers for Goodyear, Hankook, and Falcon, but we can get you any vehicle tire you want. We offer full automotive repair by 4 qualified, experienced technicians. We are a qualified farm tire dealer, and we offer 24-hour on-the-farm tire service. Request service, shop for tires, or request a quote at columbustireandservice.com, or give us a call to set an appointment, 402-564-6229.
Would you like to watch this game from above the crowd? When it comes to finding you a new home, the team at Total Realty have a game plan that'll put you above the crowd. Whether you're buying or selling, they will answer your questions and provide an expert offense to put you in the lead during the whole process. The Total Realty team members are real people living in your same community.
And a flag on the play for the first potential play of fourth quarter, as we are back with 12 minutes to go in this one, and the Vikings are making this one a ball game, and that's going against the Shamrocks. A 3rd and 7 is going to turn into a 3rd and 12, and Grant, before we go any farther, Bose West, third quarter sponsor, best burgers in Columbus. If you're not there, don't want to say you're a loser, but
all I gotta say for Bose West, I can say quite delicious. Just go check out Bose West. Great.
Just do yourself a favor, really, is what we're trying to say. They're delicious. I've gone there after a game before and definitely hits the spot. 3rd and 12 now for the Shamrocks. The Vikings are going to get a big sack, and a flag again on the play as Christmas goes down. We'll see what happens here.
Connor Werdeman. Yeah, Connor Werdeman there on that tackle. And they're going to call this one against Scotus. So Scotus, things really going in the direction of Lakeview this second half so far. And you're going to see Connor Werdeman come here in the backfield. You're going to see, it looks like they call block in the back. You saw Dotson kind of fall there on the back of one guy, but I'm not sure directly where they called that from. Nonetheless, Scotus is going to be moving even farther back into their own territory, with a 4th and very long. So Lakeview again, another stop, and with Boss kicking this back from his own end zone, they're going to have a chance to, potentially get some more points on the board.
Another flag too. And the Vikings, their body language is indicating this is against Scotus as well.
False start against the Shamrock.
And a false start against Scotus, so they're going to march even further back. And Grant, at the very least, the Vikings should have a short field.
Yeah, the penalties and the mistakes Scotus is making right now is, it's just really giving Lakeview the chance to capitalize. And so far, being able for them to put some points on the board has kept him in this game off of those mistakes. And a fumble there.
And Boss still gets it away barely. Oh my goodness. And there is a flag, and the ball rolls near the 15. And is that going to be a roughing the punter and an automatic first down? We're going to have to see. And it is.
Just looking at some of these Scotus fans in front of us are yelling back at somebody on top of the booth.
Yeah, I was afraid. I thought they were yelling at us for a second, but they're looking above us on the press box. I mean, I know there's a radio booth up there. I don't know, but they are displeased, and that is just a tough break for Lakeview, as it's a broken play, really. And then
it looked like Foltz, though, got the hand on the ball, if not just barely tipped it, but the refs are going to say that it wasn't tipped.
And another flag now as Kurt Frenzen is irate.
So this is going to go against Lakeview now too. So sideline infraction against Lakeview.
And this has been a wild second half.
And we're barely into the fourth quarter, and just some of the calls we got going right now, and you see Frenzen there still kind of yelling at the refs. I thought Foltz had a hand on that. We watched it again. Now, granted, the refs here don't have the capabilities to recheck that one on replay and look at that one. It was a very close call, but I think he did tip that one a little bit.
And because of that, it's an automatic first down for the Shamrocks, which is why Frenzen was so upset. There's a short gain, looks like, of 2 yards on that one.
So it went from a chance for Lakeview to potentially bring this into under a one-score, where you bring this down to a one-score game. Is now Scotus ball again after that carry. It's going to be second and about 7. Lakeview going to need to find an answer.
So now the handoff goes to Pelster, who he makes a nifty move. And Pelster, he is still going legs churning and into Lakeview territory at the 48, and the Shamrocks are fired up, the fans and players alike. That's a gain of 30.
And I'm still seeing these, every time Scotus does something good now, they're turning around and yelling at somebody above us, but Pelster just does a fantastic job of keeping those legs moving. And just the nice little spin move as he goes downfield, and you can see the center of gravity is fantastic, and he just keeps his leg pumping and pumping and pumping until he gets that first down.
So now the Shamrocks trying to get that momentum back. And it appears like they're on their way. A huge, huge momentum shift, though, as we said. The potential for the Vikings to get the ball, what could have been a blocked punt, turns into a first down for the Shamrocks. And here is Boss, the man who did the punt, and Boss with room to run. He gets across the 30. That's a gain of 20 more.
And things just really turning around for Scotus, capitalizing on those 2 Lakeview penalties and very much looking like they're on their way to get some more points on this board and spread this lead back out. Boss just does a nice job diving up the middle, the little off-tackle fullback dive that Scotus likes to run. And Jansen kind of trips him up there before he's finally brought down by Dakota Prorock.
So 1st and 10 now from the 28. They go back to Boss. Boss's legs still churning. He gets tackled near the 15. There is a flag back by the initial line of scrimmage.
Sean Donnelly there on the tackle for Lakeview. They're going to call a holding on Scotus, so this one's going to bring this back again, but Boss is going to be coming off the field here. So they're going to move this one back. It's going to make it to where they move it from. So about 21 yards to go here.
Move the ball back to the Lakeview 41-yard line.
So it's going to get moved back to the 41-yard line. So it's still first down.
18 yards to go, 9:40 remaining and counting. Back to Pelster. Pelster cracks through, gets tackled near the 35. Gain of about 7.
Really, the first time this half we've seen these backs, and so far it's been Boss and Pelster, but seeing these guys do some exciting stuff. Lakeview, for the most part, has done a nice job of shutting them down throughout the third quarter, not giving them much room to run, doing a great job of filling gaps, but now, after those couple penalties on Lakeview, kind of sparked a little bit of energy.
Double reverse to Pelster. He has room to run. Pelster cuts it. He's going to take it all the way from 35 yards Bailey Pelster puts his team back up big, 27-10.
And just fantastic vision by Pelster to cut back across that field, identify where he needed to go, and he just a man like most of these backs, just difficult to handle when they get into that open field, and Pelster with a ton of room to run finds the end zone and puts this game back into a little bit more control for Scotus.
And what a pivotal play that punt was in the Shamrocks end zone. As the extra point is up and good, so the lead is back to 18, 28-10 for the Shamrocks.
And really a really big drive for Scotus. You know, this thing went from going to be Lakeview ball in really good field position to Scotus putting together a really nice string of run plays, and Pelster just cutting across that formation as he just had tons of room to run in that end zone. A dangerous guy to give any space in the open field. But, you know, this went from Lakeview potentially making this a really one-score game to Scotus finding the answer and bringing this back to about a three-score game.
So the question now for the Vikings is, do they have anything left in the tank? Because that can just be extremely emotionally taxing to ride that wave of emotion, to think, all right, we're in this, we're getting the ball back, and then to find out, oh, no, we actually gave a first down, and then they come down and score on you. And, you know, the clock's working against you with 8:49 to go. We'll see how they respond to this one, but they're going to have to work and work quick.
Really, yeah, going to see if they're going to try to get things going here through the air again, or if they're going to keep it on the ground. They've done a nice job so far this half of kind of mixing things up, and that one's going to go into the end zone for a touchback.
So the Vikings are going to start from their own 20, and they need to work fast.
So still over 8 minutes to play in this quarter, but
there is a nice carry, though, by the Vikings. Getting near the 30 is Lemberg.
Yeah, Lemberg having a really nice half so far, opening up some things on the reverse. They're just kind of a little off-tackle run, but also finding the lone touchdown for Lakeview in the air. So Lemberg just doing a nice job tonight on offense.
2nd and 1 for the Vikings. They go right back to him as he tries to get around the corner. There's a big hit out of bounds. Lemberg stays up and gets enough for a first. That's a gain of 7.
I suppose if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Now the Shamrocks have had that read option pretty much figured out, but so far, Lemberg's having the most success.
And the big play moving those sticks forward. You know, a big play or two by Lemberg, and all of a sudden you're across field moving things forward. So Lakeview very much still in this if they're able to get into the end zone in decently quick time.
Johnson's going to pass this one. Again, Lemberg, he had him, just let him a little too much.
You know, I think that would have been a first down, too, if he was able to reel that pass down just a hair. Lemberg probably breathing pretty heavy.
So 2nd and 10. The Vikings are pretty much going to be passing a majority of the rest of the way, you'd have to assume. And back to Lemberg, the hot hand. This time, Shamrock defense has it figured out as he is hit behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 1.
That's 4 plays in a row that Lemberg has been the intended target or ball carrier. So you almost wonder if maybe, you know, they run all these plays to Lemberg. Now you're looking at a 3rd and 11. If maybe you try to air something out to Austin Foltz out there on the edge, or hit Nick Dolezal for some quick slant action.
So we will see right here. Dylan Johnson, 3-step drop. He has room to run. He's going to tuck it. And Evan Shohan hits him, but Dylan Johnson gets enough for the first down on 3rd and 11. He gets 12. Big play by the quarterback.
And I'm not sure that was an intended run, but we'll take a look here. You see, they're sitting back in pass drop, those linemen. But those receivers all just sprinting downfield, and Dylan Johnson fast enough and dangerous enough that if you give him room to run, he is going to get you.
That replay brought to you by Bill's Tire Outlet in Columbus. You can see them for tire service and so much more. First down for the Vikings, and Lemberg again, nowhere to go. He actually gets back to the initial line of scrimmage. Props to him.
Yeah, Dotson there on the outside did a nice job of getting in there and getting out on the edge very quickly, quick enough that, so far they just keep working him out on the edge, Lemberg that is, and then Dotson, they make a little adjustment on defense, make sure Dotson's upfield on that and doesn't give Lemberg anywhere to go.
So 2nd and 10 now for the Vikings. 6:53 remaining. Johnson's going to throw. He's going up the seam for Foltz. Big defensive play by the Shamrocks. And how about that for the tip drill as Shohan comes up with it. I believe that was Kump who got the tip.
And that was just textbook, getting that ball back up in the air so that somebody can make a move. And Shohan was the player that came here and made that move. And Dylan Johnson really just throwing up a prayer as there was just like you said earlier, a slew of defenders, and in fact you do see Kump right there with the big tip, and then Shohan diving over to get that interception. And Scotus ball again. This is just a really big turnover here late in this game.
What do you guess Shohan plays goalie for the Scotus team? You maybe see that there with that full extension action to scoop that one up before it hit the ground.
And they're good at soccer. There's no... everybody kind of knows that. They got their soccer skills, so might as well show them off. Opposite side of, it's some form of football.
I see what you did there.
He's just mixing things up. He's trying to keep it real.
You're doing a good job at that. And the very real thing right now, Grant, if you let me say it, Shamrocks look like they are very much in control of this one, and Vikings in trouble.
Vikings... I would not argue with that.
Here's Pelster again looking to crack one open, and a big tackle by Jansen to keep that from happening.
Jansen had a nice game tonight, and at least it's definitely the second half. He's been very active in that backfield from the linebacker position. It's going to be 3rd and 1, and I'd be surprised if they do a little handoff up the middle that we've seen a couple times go for 30, 40 yards. Looks like Dotson in the backfield there.
And they give it right to Dodson. He gets enough for a first down. Gain of 5.
Some of those Scotus players and Lakeview players looking pretty gassed. This has been a pretty intense second half, mainly because of that third quarter. Lakeview came out with a lot of fire. Unfortunately, down 3 scores before halftime. Weren't able to come back and bring it any closer, but some big plays by Lakeview, or Scotus, excuse me.
Now Harrington with it. He has big Marcus Dodson as his lead blocker. He gets across the 40. That's a big gain and plenty for a first down.
Harrington, kind of the smaller, just really athletic runner that they put there in the backfield when they need just kind of a playmaker, need something to happen. But how would you like to have Dotson running downfield in front of you, or Boss for that matter, lead block? And I know it make me feel a little more comfortable as that ball carrier. And you can see there Dotson throwing the nice block, kind of lowered the helmet, but Cole Harrington, the speedy backfield, kind of wide receiver running back combo, getting the first.
Scotus now on the Viking 38. Pelster again trying to get to the outside. And he gets enough for a first down, gain of 13. Shamrocks retaking control, if you will, of this game.
Yeah, just a complete flip after those couple of penalties. Can't stress that enough. This has just been a completely different quarter from that third quarter to this quarter. After those 2 penalties on Lakeview, the momentum just flip-flopped completely, and Shamrocks have just been in control the rest of this quarter. and look like, if they keep things up like this, look like they're going to take this one home.
So now 1st and 10 from the 25. They give it to Dodson. Short gain on that one.
Saw a little bit more shoving. These rivalry games do get pretty intense, especially like you said, crosstown rivals get pretty heated, and we've seen that with those plethora of after the whistle penalties in that third quarter.
I like that vocab.
Hey, gotta mix it up.
And here comes Pelster again from the outside. He cuts it up. Pelster still going. Still going. Pelster down near the 2-yard line, and it looks like another late flag.
And Pelster's slow to get up there. Is that Pelster? Yeah, it looks like Pelster just a little slow to get up. Somebody that, like we said, was battling some groin injuries earlier in the year. I think he's a little sore in the lower body, limping a little bit.
It's a face mask against the Vikings as well for the penalty.
So Pelster just doing what they do best, sweeping around the edge there, finding some open room. We'll see if we see where he kind of tweaked his groin. You see him kind of reach over top there, and it looked like it might have been earlier in the play. You saw the face mask there, too. But he's still in the game.
Good news for Shamrocks fans. Do they give it to Boss for his 4th touchdown of the night? They do, and he gets it with complete ease. Jake Boss untouched as he goes into that one. 34-10 now. Shamrock's going to run away with this.
He'd be a nice guy to have on fantasy this week with those touchdowns. I don't know if I have to get some high school fantasy. I don't know if that exists in Columbus, Nebraska, but
it should.
If you're in that league, you need to pick up Boss. He's having a heck of a night with the 4 touchdowns. There you see Harrington going to kick that one right down the middle. Going to make this one 35-10.
Shamrocks very happy about this one as they are well on their way to winning their 2nd consecutive rivalry match against these Vikings. And by all intents and purposes, the Shamrocks at 8-1, if the PowerPoints stay as they should, will be the #1 seed in the Class C1 playoffs.
And going in there at the number 3 spot after that loss to Wahoo, Lakeview was close to beating, and we've talked about this before, just kind of how the districts panned out this year was very interesting to kind of just follow throughout the weeks. But nonetheless, Scotus, those other teams with multiple losses now, Scotus is going to rise to the top of their district and to the top of those PowerPoints. So.
And again, a testament, because you have Norfolk Catholic and Wilbur Claytonia both undefeated, but just because of the sheer strength of schedule that the Shamrocks team has played, even with that loss, it puts them above those 2 teams.
Yeah, just from front to back, really just starting out the year with Boone Central Newman Grove, who's had a great year as well. And then moving in throughout, you got Aquinas, you see, like I said, David City, Aquinas, and then you're seeing Wahoo, Bishop Newman, all these good teams. And just able to have this record like they have is something we expected at the beginning of the year. And by all intents and purposes, looks like they're going to finish with a victory in this game if they can close this one out. But they're going to be going in on a high note.
Vikings still playing, though, for pride, and a little completion there to Lemberg as he bent awkwardly, and another late flag.
You saw Scotus players calling for a fumble there. As you can see Dalton Taylor holding the ball.
There's a flag on the play.
So it looks like it's going to be a late hit here. Seeing Dalton Taylor there. Okay, so you see Noah Duncan there, or not, excuse me, not Noah Duncan. Trevor Schultz coming in with a late hit
the penalty, and we'll take
in the
over
back there, so
possession
this
of the
one's
football.
It's going to be first down for Scotus. They're going to call it fumble, give it to Scotus, and then you got the penalty as well. So Scotus moving forward and now in position to put another score on the board and really put this one away.
So 3:16 to go. This one's pretty much done now, 35-10. Shamrock's going to go to the air here. Quinn Blaser, great defense though by the Vikings, and an interesting call, Grant. Shamrock's very much in control of this one, but going to the air, maybe something you maybe see because it's that rivalry match.
Just trying. This has been an intense game, and the score might not show it, but it has been an intense game between these players. Definitely very hard fought between the two, so really just trying to put that one away there.
And Lemberg, who's been making all the plays on offense, was the player who made that great defensive play as well. Give him props for that. That's not easy. One-on-one coverage.
Yeah, I really got to credit him. He has just had a great night so far.
And here's Boss again, the man with 4 touchdowns. He's going to make it 5, folks. Jake Boss finds the end zone from 32 yards out. That is the explanation point on this one.
I just don't know what else to say about this kid. He is just having a fantastic night running the football. And he's just been running hard. I mean, everybody's been playing extremely hard, but he has just done a great job. And you got to credit these Scotus linemen for giving him room to score these 5 touchdowns. But just a great night for Boss.
Not only that, but he also had that safety in the first half. He's just being an animal. I guess I don't know really how else to explain it.
I don't know if there is any other way. He's gonna be working up an appetite, though. I think he maybe needs to go stop by Bo's West for some burgers.
I think his parents told him if he scores 5 touchdowns, he's gonna get a Bo's West burger, and he heard that and he said, "All right, well here we go then."
He said, "Let's run it in, put that burger on the grill, and let's get some points on the board as well." So 42-10. And really would be very difficult for Lakeview at this point to come back.
Yeah, and even just credit Lakeview as well, because on paper you would say they're outmatched. This Scotus team is just so good and has serious aspirations of doing some damage in this C1 playoffs, which start next week. But the Vikings, they made halftime adjustments. They came out and they gave it their all. And we talked about it, that pivotal point was that punt return, or that punt block that turned into a first down.
I see Limber taking that one back and opening it up again.
Knocked out near the 24.
And I've said this like 3 times already, but he is having he's doing a great job really livening up this Lakeview offense. But you can only utilize one man so much before the defense, especially the defense as good as Scotus, is going to catch on. And they did a great job responding in this fourth quarter and causing some turnovers.
And there is the option. Trent Roth really has been pretty quiet in this one. That's just his 4th carry, and he's under 10 yards. And
he's down on the field right now. Looks like he might. He looks like you can see those players taking a knee almost instantly, like he's in some pain. I wonder. Looks like he may have hurt a hip or something. Definitely lower bodies. You can kind of see him grabbing his lower half there. And you really hope he's okay. He's just done a great job this year for Lakeview, and you don't want to see anyone get hurt, period. But he's just played really hard this game and really hard this season, so really hope he's...
Yeah, he's a player in his senior year that has been a huge focal point for this offense. He has over 600 rushing yards to go along with 230 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. So he's been quiet tonight, but really just you hope he's okay. This is going to be the last game that he plays for the Vikings.
You know, we've talked about this before. You can really tell, I think, the seriousness of the injuries. You can see him getting up here, and it's really good. Even though he's being assisted off the field, well, now he's walking under his own power, but just to see him getting up is great because, you know, we always try to tell the severity by how quickly people get down on their knees and stuff like that. People almost instantly, so he looked like he had to have been in some pain, but good to see him walking off the field.
So always good to see Grant, like you said, Trent Roth able to come off under his own power. On 2nd and 10, this is going to be the final game for a lot of these Vikings players, for the seniors as well as for this year. Some players that had a huge impact for this Lakeview team. Dylan Johnson, a senior quarterback, he's going to be graduating. Chase Lemberg, Trey Shanks, Trent Roth we just talked about. Derek Smith, a lineman, along with Grant Zimba on the defensive end, and Austin Fulton, Trevor Schultz. Those are the starting seniors. So a pretty good chunk they're going to be losing that have made a big impact. They kind of went through the tough year last year where they had basically a rebuilding year. They went 2-7 and really turned it around this year. Going to be 4-5 on the year, but played some really close games against some very good opponents and have nothing to be upset about.
Yeah, and a big pass there to Dolezal to get them downfield across almost to half field. But you know, one thing I always like to look at, some of these guys are going to be competing in some winter and some spring sports. So you know, their athletic career as high schoolers is not over yet. But football, one of these things. So those guys who aren't going to be playing at the next level or continue their career, you know, that's not something. You get a group of guys together and can just go strap on pads and go play at the park. So, you know, it's just a sad day when you got to end your season and an emotional one at that. But
Austin Fultz, though, says, I want to go out on a high note. And Dylan Johnson hits him right up the seam as the Vikings are entirely playing for pride now with 1.5 minutes to go.
Big opportunity, something if they would have been able to do this earlier in the defense, maybe loosening up a little bit on Scotus' end, but Johnson doing a nice job of airing that one over the top to Fultz, who seems to have at least one big catch downfield a game.
There's Lemberg, another senior, not much there.
Lemberg. Definitely this next half, but the second half, but throughout the game probably has, I believe, most of the carries. This fourth quarter really kind of been the lone running back, essentially.
Johnson again with the pump fake. He's going to keep it himself. Johnson still going, gets inside the 5 after he's brought down by Drecke.
Out of bounds by number 1, Luke Drecke. The game's down to the Scotus 5-yard line. First and goal from the 5 for the Vikings.
And so, with 47 seconds to go.
Flags on the play. Offside against the Shamrocks.
So 44 seconds, offsides on the Shamrocks. Brings up 1st and 5. Clock is running.
Penalty will be half the distance to the goal. Ball played by Dylan Johnson. 3 yards for the Lakeview.
And the Vikings do get on the board again, though, in this fourth quarter. Dylan Johnson, that's a good way to go out as a senior, as they punch it in from 3 yards out, 42-17.
Lakeview will attempt the 2-point conversion.
And Johnson's going to keep it himself. He gets it in for the 2-pointer as well. So 33 seconds to go. 42-18 Lakeview, trailing Scotus.
Yeah, like you said, if anything, just great to get some points here at the end of the game. We are running out of time pretty quickly, but a big touchdown for Dylan Johnson. A nice job by the line to open that one up the middle, but at least you get to go out on a high note here.
So Lakeview gonna go 4-5 on the year. And there you see a lot of those seniors. Foltz along with Johnson, Lemberg, Tate Jansen in there. A lot of good guys and a lot of good players. Kurt Frenzen will talk about it on our Coach's Corner show as we're going to wrap it up for every season, or for every team of the season, and have a chance to talk about what this group of players has meant to him and to the Lakeview community. As for the Shamrocks, they are going to go on to the playoffs as the #1 seed, and they look to make some serious noise. They're trying to get the school their 3rd championship. They have a Class B in 1984 and a Class B championship in 1993. And they would love nothing more than to tack on one in 2015. And here is the onside kick by the Vikings, and a little scrum for it. It looks like Shamrocks may have got it. There's another late flag. Gonna have little consequence on the game, but Boss comes out with it.
I think they're going to call that one on Austin Foltz. As you did, I mean, you saw it there. They were getting a little bit of physical at the end, and you know, it's all about the reaction when they call that penalty. It's who the refs are going to spot really doing the big play. So we'll see what they call here. They're going to call that one against Lakeview.
Personal call against the Vikings is the preliminary signal.
So 30 seconds left in this one. 42-18. It's going to be the score now. The fans for the Shamrocks up on their feet. The sideline is pumped up as Scotus goes into the victory formation here.
Ball's down by the quarterback.
27 seconds and counting, and Grant for the Shamrocks, you know, going into the playoffs, they're coming off a year where they lost to Kearney Catholic in the 2nd round. Right here on this field, they are returned 17 seniors, whatever odd number that it is, and they all came back for what you would say is maybe unfinished business. And they have the aspirations and the talent to maybe take it all in this 2015 season.
Well, they took that loss a couple weeks ago to Wahoo, so you know they're going to be coming in with a little bit of fire. I think it was good that they knocked a loss like that out of the way early. There you got your final score of 42-18, but Scotus definitely got the upper hand going into this playoffs, and I would love to see a Norfolk Catholic Scotus matchup, because that's a game that I think would it would be heated, that's for sure. But they definitely got a lot of good things going into the playoffs. And Lakeview as well, you know, they had a good season, and it was fun to cover these guys throughout the season. You know, want to congratulate those seniors for doing such a good job. They competed with some really good teams this year, unable to get the win today, but they got a bright future ahead of them.
Scotus improves to 8-1. Vikings 4-5. We are going to hear from head coach Tyler Linder on this one, as well as our Columbus Community Hospital player of the game. As always, there's plenty of opportunities and options to pick from, and you're just going to have to wait and see on who we decided it's going to be. Really a tale of 3-1, I guess, Grant. The Shamrocks owned the first 2 quarters. It was 21-0 going into the break, but Vikings, the 3rd quarter was theirs. They put up 10 points and really made it a ball game, but then really just took back control in the 4th quarter and really just took this game out of hand.
Yeah, Yeah, I keep going back to that, but those couple of penalties that they had, like we were just talking about, that was just an unbelievable turning point because Lakeview was just controlling that third quarter, and it was just they came out with so much fire. That was something I'm sure Coach Frenzen was hoping they would come out with at the beginning of the game, but they were able to make some adjustments and come out and do that at the after the halfway mark. But then those two penalties just gave some kind of energy to Scotus, and you saw it. Pelster and Voss went to work and really put this one away.
So we will find out who the Shamrocks play. Saturday morning is when the NSAA released the official playoff brackets. The way things are shaking out, Scotus should be the number 1 seed. That's where they sit in power points right now. They got the win. They're district champions with the win here tonight. They ensured that. And they are going to have a home game, which we will be broadcasting next Friday. And we intend, as Columbus News team, this will be the only Columbus team in the postseason to follow them potentially as far as they go up through the semifinals, something that is new this year that the NSAA is allowing. We will be able to broadcast the Shamrock games live, home or away, and that's something that we're very excited to say we can do.
Oh, I'm pumped. I can't wait to watch some playoff football. It's always a good time of the season. There you see Pelster just doing some of those big things that he did in that late fourth quarter, making some things happen and turning this game back around, but it's going to be a blast going to these different games, kind of following throughout the playoffs. Hopefully they can put a string of wins together. I'd like to follow them all the way up through the semifinals if we can.
And just speaking of other area schools as well, David City Aquinas, they're defending Class C2 champions. A team that Scotus played actually was the team that gave the Shamrocks the biggest challenge besides that loss to Wahoo. It was a 3-point affair. They have a chance also to repeat as C2 champions, and just kind of speaks to the talent that we have here in the Platte Valley in this level of football, and it's very fun to watch. I even would say we're a little bit spoiled to be able to cover these teams.
Spoiled is definitely the right word, because and that was just a great game to watch. That was just some hard-nosed football back and forth. There you see that big-time interception after the tip up from Kumpf, but the playoffs by no means is going to be an easy route for either of those teams. Very difficult, very stacked on both sides. Now Scotus has won some big games against some ranked teams in C1, and Aquinas has done the same in C2. So it'll be interesting to see maybe when they come against some teams that they haven't had a chance to play yet, how those matches turn out.
And again, for playoff or for wildcard points, you have Norfolk Catholic undefeated 9-0. They're at number 2. Wilbur Claytonia undefeated coming into tonight at number 3. But you have Central City. They're number 5 in power points. And then you have Wahoo as well, Bishop Newman, Holdridge Ogallala. They're all kind of rounding out the top 10. So a lot of good matchups that we'll see in this first round of playoff games. Columbus being obviously the top seed. They will get the 16th seeded team, which you would think would be an easy win, but there's never easy wins in the postseason, and it'll be exciting to see how that bracket looks tomorrow when it is released.
There you see a couple big highlights we got going on here. Austin Foltz on that late drive as they kind of headed towards town to that end zone. We're kind of looking at a scoring drive right now as they move forward. Put a couple more points on the board. Dylan Johnson there was with the big run downfield. Eventually was going to put this one in the end zone right here, but yeah, it's going to be a tough road in the playoffs. It's going to be a fun one, like I said, but by no means an easy task.
And this group of seniors, a special one for head coach Tyler Linder. They're also experienced. A lot of them have been playing since they've been sophomores, and this is really what's happening Friday is the moment that they've really been waiting for the past 2 years. The fact that they are all seasoned veterans, the fact that they have so many returning starters with so many athletes. I mean, it's a chance where I talked to Coach Tyler Linder before this season. He said, I've been waiting for this season ever since I took over last year, and I don't want to jinx myself, but it's a situation that I don't want to screw up because I don't know when the next time you'll have an opportunity like this with this group of players to make this big of an impact. And there you see a lot of the seniors for the Lakeview Vikings who are done playing football, getting hugs from the parents and coaches. An emotional thing, Grant. I know for me, I was really sad because when my last high school football game, I wasn't ever going to play again. You had the luxury of going on to play college. But We now have Taryn, who has head coach Tyler Linder now, as well as our Columbus Community Hospital player of the game. Let's hear from Taryn now.
Thanks, Coach. It looks you had a great win tonight. You looked good out there. It looked like Lakeview was getting ready to come out in the second half and give you a little bit of a run. What did you say to your team to keep them poised?
You know, it was just one of those things that we've got to control us, right? We can't control what officials do. We can't control what Lakeview does. We just had to work on us and perfect the little things. And so I'm really happy how we regained our composure in that third quarter, and that set us up for a successful fourth.
And what are your takeaways from this game?
You know, we've got a great team, and Lakeview's a very talented ball club, and so we just have to work on the little things and perfect us if we're going to make a run at this playoff picture.
And now we go to our player of the game, Jake Boss. Jake, you had a huge game tonight. Did you feel like you were going to have a good game coming into it tonight?
No, not really. I haven't ran the ball like that for a while, but it just felt good to be out there and playing against our rivals and playing one more time at home. So it was a fun game.
And tell me how it feels to come out here not only to defeat your rivals, but end their playoff hopes.
Oh, it feels good. They had a great season, though. You can't blame them on that. But we just played good and just kept on playing.
Back to you guys.
There is our Columbus Community Hospital player of the game, Jake Boss. 5 touchdowns, a safety, and just a huge impact for the Shamrocks. Hearing from head coach Tyler Linder as they prepare to make this big postseason push. 42-18. Grant, any final thoughts as we've analyzed this one through and through before we go away for this one?
Well, we say it. Can't wait for playoffs. Congratulations to those Lakeview seniors once again. It's been a blast watching them. Congrats, too, to the Columbus High seniors. They're off. They had a tough match tonight against Millard South. Didn't fare quite as well. But, appreciate those seniors putting in the effort and giving us some fun football to watch. Lakeview really did have a good season. And they were a couple plays away from even having a winning record and potentially going to the playoffs. So, hopefully they can keep their heads up as they move forward. You can see them again. Quinn Madison as well, the guy who was injured and had to sit out for the year. But I look forward to following Scotus. And Boss, man, well-deserving tonight of the player of the game. So.
He's Grant Otten. We heard from Taryn Campbell. For our entire Columbus News Team crew, Aaron, our producer in the truck, I am Brandon Axman. Thank you so much for watching this one. Stay with Columbus News Team all throughout the postseason. We'll be following the Shamrocks as far as they go. That wraps up coverage here. We'll see you next Friday.
At Total Realty today, log on to ColumbusTotalRealty.com or see their full list of homes from the Columbus Android devices.
At Columbus Motor Company, they feel shopping for a new vehicle should not be complicated. That's why during the Chrysler Anniversary Celebration, they offer everyone their very best price 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. At Columbus Motor Company, it's just one low price. Plain and simple, always. So if you're ready for a new vehicle, stop by Columbus Motor Company, your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer at 2806